okay? The coin that we have today is heads for a helmet. Tail is the goalpost, okay? And heads is the call. Okay, go ahead and toss it. And it's tails. So you won the toss, okay? By the way, I was remiss in introducing Lisa King. She's the honorary person to do the ceremony coin toss. So anyway, with that said, you've won the toss, so you have your options the first half or the second half. You want to defer. So I'm going to tap your shoulder, and we're going to defer those options to the second half. That means you have the options to the first half. Put your back to the goal that you're going to defend. Over here. Okay, Dallas, come on over here. Tap your shoulder. It says you're going to receive the first
Tell me
half.
whenever.
Okay?
Lisa and Jeff King, congratulations. This is your baby. You founded this league. It's the 5th national championship. How special is today for you?
You know, every year it's nice to see all the girls that are involved and you know, the fans that come out for the game. So each year it's more and more special each year. Yeah.
Congratulations. We're looking for a good one today.
Yeah, thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Steve, it should be a fun one. Kick it off.
That it should be. Thank you very much, Katie. Chicago wins the toss. As you heard, they're going to defer to the second half. So the Dallas Diamonds will accept the football here in a moment, but everyone inside historic Balboa Stadium now will rise, and we'll pause for the national anthem.
So proudly we hailed in the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave? For the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Outstanding rendition of the Star Spangled Banner just ahead of the 2013 Silver Sport National Championship game between the Dallas Diamonds and the Chicago Force. A couple of teams that are 11-0, Ralph, and as we get set for kickoff here in just a moment, your impressions of both these teams. I mean, they both average a ton of points. Will either team be able to stop the other one in the championship game?
Well, we'll see that out there on the field today. Something's going to have to give. Both of these teams put a lot of points on the scoreboard. I'll be watching the defenses today to see if they can do that.
Peering in on the Chicago Force huddle right there. They're going to wear black with the red trim. And again, they come in averaging 61.9 points per game. So a good idea for the Dallas Diamond to elect to take the football right at the start of this one. I would venture to guess one of the things to do as you take a look at the Dallas Diamonds is to just try and keep the football away from Sammy Grisafi and her offense as much as you can here tonight.
Well, definitely. Sammy Grisafi is a great athlete. We'll be watching her out there on the field today. She has a ton of talent on the perimeter as well. And the Dallas Diamonds will have their hands full to see if they can stop them.
Dallas Diamonds are going to be wearing the white tops. They'll have black pants with the purple leggings and purple trim. And they're going to get the football here to start the championship game. 2013 Silver Sport Women's Football Alliance National Championship game at historic Balboa Stadium. The Dallas Diamonds are 11-0. Matthew Russell is their first-year head coach, and he's guided his team despite an injury to their starting quarterback, Brittany Bushman, who may in fact be back and ready to start this game here in a moment. The Diamonds known for their defense. And they have to be up to the challenge here tonight against a Chicago Force team that's been rolling everybody. 11-0, and they lost in the title game a year ago in Pittsburgh at Heinz Field to the San Diego Surge. And as a result, Surge get a chance to host the championship game and have a Chamber of Commerce Day here in San Diego. First weekend of August, and we're going to kick this thing off at about 77 degrees.
Yeah, everyone's excited to see this kickoff. Both teams are ready to play this game, and they're hungry and ready to win this national championship.
Just about to get underway. This is Trisha Charbonneau, the place kicker for the Chicago Force. Ready to lay into one and get this championship game underway. John Konecki is the head coach in his 4th season for the Force. This is the 4th time he'll be playing for a title here in this calendar year. Not only is his D stingy, but as we mentioned, scoring almost 62 points a game. Short little kick fielded at the 25-yard line. And this is Ellie Dovansits. And Dovansits, who's listed as an offensive lineman, gets it up to midfield or close to it. And good starting field position here for the Dallas Diamonds. They're going to begin at their own 40-yard line.
And don't be surprised if this team starts out a little trickery in the beginning of this game to try to get the Force off their edge or off balance to open up their game on offense.
Well, let's take a look at the offense for Dallas. And one of their top receivers right there, Satterwhite, will catch it out of the backfield. She'll also run it. And you see who's blocking up front for Dallas on offense. Juice Martin. Love that name, even though it's spelled J-O-O-S, pronounced Juice. And the Dallas Diamond about ready to run their first offensive play here of this championship game from the 40-yard line on a glorious night here in San Diego. And as we peer in, Odessa Jenkins out of the Wildcat to start things. Thought we might see a little Brittany Bushman. And Jenkins will carry, and Jenkins to about the 41-yard line. And again, that is an awfully tough defense to have to go against the Chicago Force.
Yeah, you can tell that they're focusing on Odessa Jenkins tonight. They're going to make sure that she doesn't beat them tonight. She's the best player and most talented player on this Dallas Diamonds team. If they can stop her, they have a chance to win tonight.
This defense can get after it. Brooks and Marks, a mess of sacks during the regular season and the postseason. The linebacking core is outstanding. Darcy Leslie was her conference's defensive player of the year, and the linebackers are good too. They can get after you. And a penalty marker as Jenkins goes left, and Jenkins up close to the 45-yard line. But we'll see what the penalty is. Graham Brom, or Gary Brom that is our referee here for the championship game.
And as you can see, they're trying to get Odessa Jenkins comfortable tonight. That's 2 consecutive plays that she's ran the football. That shows you how important it is to get her started.
And that's going to be an offsides, and it's going against the Chicago Force. That's going to cost him 5 yards. And they'll replay the down. It'll be second down, a little bit more manageable 2nd and 4 here. I would think, Ralph, the key when you're playing against a team that averages close to 62 points a game is just keep the ball on the ground, get as many first downs as you can, and limit their possessions.
Yeah, and it seems like that's what they're trying to do. The opposing offense that has that much high power, you want to control the clock like they're trying to do today.
Jenkins with a handoff, and right up the middle there on the carry, and that is Rachel May. And Rachel May with a short little run, bringing up a 3rd down and short.
If the Diamonds can stay in favorable 3rd downs like this, they may have a chance today. This is what you want to be in, this type situation. And you see they're handing it off to the load right there. She gets a few yards up the field. They can keep doing that 3 or 4 yards a pop. That'll be good.
That's what you have to do against Chicago, because I was talking with their head coach, John Konecki, before the ballgame. He said, we're inspired by the 85 Bears. That's how we do it. Here's a run. This is Janice Mitchell, and Mitchell had 10 carries this year for 86 yards, and she picks up a 1st down right there, and that's the first down of the ballgame for the Diamonds.
It's a big point, getting 1st downs and moving the chains to create some confidence on this offensive side of the ball.
Been able to tear up almost 2 minutes of the clock here, scoreless in the opening quarter. And now we've got a change in quarterback. Here's our first look at Brittany Bushman, and Bushman got hit as she was launching it right side. Incomplete pass, and it's 2nd down and 10. And we're going to see Bushman for the first time here in a few ball games.
Yeah, it looked like a little bit of internal pressure got to the quarterback. Couldn't get the throw outside. But if we see Bushman today, and if she plays well, I think that'll be an uplift for her offense and for her team.
She was the league's 2nd leading passer when she went down with that knee injury. This is her first game back since the regular season. Threw for almost 700 yards, 14 touchdowns, and 1 interception. Slings it out left, and the catch is made over there. And that's Odessa Jenkins, who started this ball game as the quarterback, and Jenkins is out of bounds on the far sideline, awfully close to another first down.
Odessa Jenkins is a huge threat after the run. Catches the football and gets a few yards up the football field, but you can tell she has a burst after she catches the ball. She's very dangerous.
Yeah, she had 401 yards out of the backfield on 41 carries. And again, they'll go with Brittany Bushman. Bushman made all conference out of the shotgun. Quick throw over the middle and intended for Brittany Satterwhite, one of the top receivers, and that sails overhead incomplete.
Brittany Bushman overthrew her mark, but that comes with a little bit of inconsistency. When you haven't played for a while, you got to get back into the groove. She'll get comfortable. She'll settle down here moving forward.
And that'll bring up a 4th down and short. And if you're Dallas, you're going to go for it here. Need another first down. Keep it away from the Chicago Force, who are yet to possess the football here in this championship game. This is Bushman out of the shotgun. Like the 85 Bears, they'll send pressure. And on a 4th down and short, a run there by Rachel May. And I'm not sure she got it. Had to get past the 35-yard line for the first down. It's going to be awfully close, Ralph.
Yeah, that looked close, Steve. I'm not sure. It's going to be tough on the referees and where they spot this. I don't know her knee fell on the grass, but it looks like the Force may have stopped her.
And we're going to have timeout for a measurement here. This is going to be awfully close. If they got it, it's by nose of the football at the 35-yard line. Trying to get a first down on a defense, Ralph, that allowed only 60 points all year. You break that down, 7.5 points yielded per game this season for the Chicago Force.
Without a question, that reminds me of the Steel Curtain. That's a stingy defense. They're going to be tough to move. Bend, don't break. You may get a few yards, but it's going to be tough to put the ball in the end zone.
And we'll stretch that chain out, and the Force will hold by barely the nose of the football, about an inch. Oh, no. Oh, my goodness. Well, from up here, looking on the monitor, that looked like the Force had made the stop. Instead, the Dallas Diamonds get a new set of downs. What you think?
Talking about a game of inches. That was inches right there. Depending on where you spotted the ball or what you saw as a referee, I mean, this is a changer. This could have been a punt or a turnover on downs. Instead, first down going the same, continuing this drive.
Second first down of the ball game for Dallas. And they have Bushman back out of the shotgun. Handles the snap, throws over the middle, and that's a catch right there. And that's Odessa Jenkins. Jenkins still on her feet inside the red zone and down inside the 10.
Bushman knows who to throw it to. Odessa Jenkins, great after the catch. She runs a little slant pattern and knifes through the defense to get them in scoring range now.
Get her in space. She is hard to bring down. A big pickup, enough for the third first down. They've got it first and goal at the 9-yard line. Here's a pass to the end zone intended for Yumiki Webb, who had 10 grabs and 4 touchdowns, and it falls harmlessly incomplete.
This could be huge if the Dallas Diamonds can score on this opening drive. It will set the tone for the rest of the game.
We've talked a lot about the Force averaging close to 62 points a game. Failed to mention the Diamonds averaging 58.7 points per game. Here's Brittany Satterwhite. There's a penalty marker, and she is wrapped up and brought down inside the 15-yard line by that Force defense. But hold everything, a penalty marker. Gary Bram will be with us here again shortly to make another crucial call here on this opening drive of the game. And that's going to be the first penalty of the ball game against the Dallas Diamonds. You hate to see that inside the 10-yard line.
Yeah, those mistakes are going to be costly throughout this game. You have to eliminate those mistakes and keep your team in positive positions and yard plays throughout this game.
And while we're playing women's professional football, you might think, because we play, the 4 15-minute quarters and all, and it's professional football, that we'd play under NFL rules, actually play under NCAA rules. The only difference is cut blocking. You can't do it downfield like you can at times in the NCAA. You can just do it 2 yards on either side of the line of scrimmage. Well, that penalty cost them a down, and it cost 5 yards. And actually the penalty marker was declined, so it'll just cost him the down after the tackle for loss. And it'll be 3rd and goal now, back at the 13-yard line. And again, Bushman, her first game back coming off the knee injury. Looking right, throwing, and it is off the fingertips of Brittany Satterwhite, incomplete, bringing up a 4th down.
The Force are doing a great job getting up in the face of the Dallas Diamonds wide receivers, trying to disrupt these routes, and that's what the defensive back did here. It made Bushman throw this off the mark. As you look at it again, it just went through her hand. She could have caught that possibly for a touchdown.
And now on 4th down and goal from the 14-yard line, the Dallas Diamonds are going to go for it. Lone setback is May. 2 receivers to each side, and the Force make a big play on defense as they drop Bushman in the backfield, and the ball is turned over on downs. And we do have an injured Chicago Force player on the field, standing inside the 20-yard line, but a good goal line stance by the Force. They give up that big play. Ball is 1st and goal inside the 10-yard line, and they don't give up another yard after that.
Tremendous job by the defense. This is what you look for on your defensive side of the ball, to get these stops in key situations to get a turnover on downs.
We talked about this defense for the Force. They can get after you. Look at some of these sack numbers. Angel Smith with 5 sacks. Kim Marks had 8 sacks coming in. Keisha Brooks with 7 tackles for losses. They get a mess of sacks, too, out of their linebacking core. And we haven't even talked yet about Darcy Leslie, who wears number 29, the National Conference Defensive Player of the Year.
That's number 3, Jennifer Dolce. She's up on her will. Big round of applause.
Albie Zobe was the injured player coming off the field for the Chicago Force. Played at Illinois State University, not football, but part of that athletic program out of Glenview, Illinois. She's okay. And so the Force on offense for the first time here tonight. And our first look at Sammy Grisafi out of the shotgun. Plenty of time to pass. Fires it over the middle, and it's caught for a 1st down at the 32-yard line. Jessica Javelet making the catch. Got 7 passes during the regular season, catches 1 right here in the postseason. And this is what they like to do, Ralph. No huddle, up tempo, and just turn and burn. That's how you score 62 points, huh?
Yeah, the sophisticated offense. Sammy Grisafi has an arm that can get that ball in the tight windows, just like she did on the play prior.
That's Mary Scholes with her first carry of the game, approaching 800 yards rushing with 9 touchdowns on the season. Now you better be deep on defense if you're Dallas. They seem to have brought a few more players than Chicago did. Counted at the team photo, the Chicago Force only bringing 40 players here to this championship game. And we have a penalty marker. And early movement will cost the Force 5 yards. They'll be looking at a 2nd down and 10. Well, as we start the discussion a little bit on Grisafi, she grew up right up the road in Redlands, up I-15. Actually played on the Redlands High School varsity football team. And you played out there in that Inland Empire area. And that's hard to do. She actually started a varsity game, a boys varsity game, as she swings it out. The catch is made by Javelay, still on her feet, gets a block, and Javelay out of bounds at the 33-yard line. Another big pickup right there for the Chicago Force.
Sammy Grisafi has a great arm, but look at the blocks on this play. After she gets it out to Javelay, she reads her blocks, makes somebody miss at first, gets up the field, steps on the gas, and does the rest.
And navigate that sideline there, and they try and run another quick play right there, and it's a run. And right up the middle is Mary Scholes again. Well, it's a simple formula, right? Throw it, then hand it off to Scholes, get it to Javelay and Scholes, see if you can stop us.
Yeah, doing a great job mixing in running pass so far.
It's almost like watching an Arena Football League game. Here's Scholes, third carry, and that one goes absolutely nowhere. Stuffed in the backfield, another tackle for a loss. That was a great play. Toshiba Smallwood was the first in there to greet the running back Scholes. Third down and roughly 4. And on the fly sweep, they hand it off. Javelay to the right, eludes a tackler. She has the first down and tiptoes out of bounds at the 20-yard line.
Great play, get it back to Javelay. Just a nice, easy jet sweep to the outside. She makes one person miss, 2, then gets the outside and gets the first down. She's a great runner with the football, and she's going to want to have the hands in her ball throughout this game.
She had just 3 carries for 77 yards and a couple of touchdowns in the regular season, but in 3 postseason games now, up over 200 yards rushing on only 7 carries. Grisafi keeps. She tucked the football away, running for the end zone. Touchdown Force. A 21-yard touchdown scamper by Sammy Grisafi. And the Chicago Force are the first to score here tonight.
Huge for their confidence, scoring on the first drive for this offense. And it looked like a little bit of trickeration from the beginning. Sammy Grisafi ended up keeping it, confused the defense. She ended up making one person miss and doing a rest by getting in the end zone.
21-yard touchdown run for Grisafi, who was the Women's Football Alliance National Conference Player of the Year. One of 5 quarterbacks named to that team. You can see her athletic prowess on display here tonight. The extra point attempt is good. And with 9:41 to go in the opening quarter of play, it's 7-0, the Chicago Force with the lead. I think we're going to see a lot of that here tonight.
Great tempo, great job of mixing in running pass, kept the Dallas Diamonds off balance throughout that whole drive, and they looked a little tired with the tempo as well.
Yep. Let's go down to Katie Temple, an injury update. Katie?
Guys, so in that big stop for the Force, that was Jennifer Dolsky, and when I asked her how she was on the sideline, she said, I just banged my shoulder. She laughed and she said, I'm fine, she'll be fine. So clearly she just needed her teammates to pick her up, give her a little break, and she'll be back in the game.
Thank you very much, Katie. We wish her the best. Speedy recovery to get back in. You know, a lot of these players pay to be in this league. They're not drawing checks, but the interesting thing is that just because you pay the money to get in doesn't mean you're, at least to get into the league, doesn't mean that you're going to play. A lot of these players will not get into this football game here tonight. They pay roughly about $600 a year to play. A lot of them have jobs. We've seen teachers, lawyers, police officers. As they make plays, we'll, if we have their occupation, we'll share it with you here tonight. This is Charbonneau now with her second kickoff. It's from the 35-yard line. And another short left-handed boot. And that is fielded there by Amanda Heilman. And Heilman is dropped back at the 36-yard line. A nice tackle there by Candace Griffin. And the starting field position for Dallas will be the 36-yard line. We'll see if they can get it into the red zone again and finally convert.
Way to go, Candace!
Hey, Steve, I think it'll be huge if Dallas can respond here and get in the end zone.
Well, they're going to need to. Again, they average 58.7 points per game. And you don't want to have to play catch-up against Chicago. You had an opportunity in the red zone. I mean, you can't misfire again on another red zone opportunity. 9:36 to go here in the opening quarter. 7-0 in favor of the Force. And here's a catch, and that's Odessa Jenkins. And Jenkins is ahead for about 7 yards, bringing up a second down and short. But we kind of got a feeling that Jenkins would come out and get the start. She did for a couple of plays, and that Brittany Bushman was able to go, the knee healthy enough that she can play in this championship game. And I venture to guess we see a lot of Bushman here the rest of the way out to Jenkins, and that's Jenkins in motion. She has it on the sweep to the right side, and she's going to be dropped in the backfield for a loss of 4 yards. That's Darcy Leslie. Now we can introduce you properly. National Conference Defensive Player of the Year. That was her 70th tackle this season.
I like Darcy Leslie. She's a decisive tackler, very patient in the open field, and she showed it here by tackling Odessa Jenkins, who was one of the top athletes in the conference.
That is her 19th tackle for loss this season and her 4th in the postseason. A floater there from Bushman. And the intended receiver, Yumiki Webb, who had 10 grabs this year. Second time she's been targeted to no avail. And that's going to bring up a 3rd down and long. Not the kind of down and distance you want to be in against a team that likes to fashion themselves after the '85 Bears.
Not at all. This Dallas offense right now, they have to stay in more favorable first downs, and the Force, they're showing that they're good on defense, preventing and eliminating their top player, which is Odessa Jenkins.
It's actually a 4th down, and Jenkins is going to come out and punt it away. And here's one of the top punt returners in the league, and it's grabbed right there by Jessica Javelet. Javelet, one of the top athletes, get to that seam on the near sideline, and oh my goodness, she just got leveled. How about Kiki Blackman saying, no further will you go.
I think they got tired of Javelet getting in the open field and getting big yardage.
No, she looks like Tim Dwight when she's running. Huh? Reminds me a lot of Tim Dwight. Blackman says, not on my watch. Terrific starting field position here for the Force, however. They'll have it 1st down and 10. And the football rests at the 47-yard line of the Dallas Diamonds, who need to make a stop. Diamonds defensively were pretty good during the regular season. And there's early movement. And that's going to draw a penalty marker right there at midfield. Matter of fact, Dallas gave up just 52 points all year. Not much in the regular season, got a lot more challenged as they played in the postseason. This is going to be an early movement. It should be against Dallas for moving too soon. And last thing you want to do is give Chicago a few more added yards for free. Gary Bram is our official. These are semi-professional referees. And it's an offsides against Dallas.
Offside on defense. We'll just say everybody right now.
Dallas in the postseason beat Austin 61-6 to start things. Their 2nd postseason game. Beat the St. Louis Slam, that is, but had a heck of a ball game to try and play. 35-20 the final there. The Dallas Diamonds then beating Central California, the War Angels, 27-6 in the semifinals to get here. Again, 27 teams started in the 2013 championship tournament, and another penalty marker. And we're left with the top 2 as we play 7:57 here in the opening quarter. 7-0 Chicago. They have the football for the 2nd time in the game. And another penalty. Another 5-yard penalty, and that should give the Chicago Force another 1st down. How about that, giving the Force a 1st down without them even running an offensive play?
Chicago, another 1st down.
Yeah, that's something you don't want to do, especially at a game with this magnitude and the offense with the potency that it has, the Chicago Force.
So Sammy Grisafi back to operate on offense for the 2nd time. High snap, nearly lost it. It's still loose. And then it's fallen upon by the Chicago Force. That is Jamie Menzik, the game MVP in the World Championship game for Team USA against Germany. And a heads-up play there. Johnny on the spot, huh? Or
Yeah.
Janice on the spot, maybe?
That's something that Dallas needed. Back up the force, which lowers their chances of scoring, possibly.
So Dallas gave the force 10 yards. The force give 5 of it back. Rasafi again out of the shotgun. 7th season with a force, and the shuffle pass inside to Mary Scholes. She gets hammered after a gain of a couple of yards.
Rasafi with the shovel pass for 34. Scholes, number 59. Nicole Coffin.
It's a huge series for the Dallas Diamonds. On defense, if they can get a stop here or no points, it'll be big for them trying to go the other way.
Started to tell you earlier, we'll share with you some of the occupations, but for Rasafi, independent musician and bartender when she's not operating this Chicago Force offense. She'll throw, looking near sideline, and another catch made. Wow, that is Javelin. And she's having an outstanding opening quarter here for Chicago.
They've been feeding her this whole game from this whole quarter. Sammy Rasafi is a great quarterback. She knew where to throw this football. The defensive back was playing high, so she threw a back shoulder throw so Javelin can pick this up. She's doing a great job commanding this offense.
They spread it out again. Another first down for Chicago. They have it at the 22. They scored from the 21-yard line last time. And here's a grab. Jeanette Gray. She played hoops at Valparaiso University in Indiana as her first touch of the game, and a short little gain there of 3, bringing up a 2nd and 7. I think that's what you'll see out of a lot of these girls. They were very accomplished in college in sports like basketball and field hockey. And given an opportunity to play football, they took it here after college. There's a handoff and a run right up the middle. And down to the 6-yard line there is Darcy Leslie. So not only is she the National Conference Defensive Player of the Year, but boy, when she runs the football, she can be awfully punishing.
Yeah, she has great speed. She has that second level button as well. She just hits it up inside for a nice gain.
And a timeout on the field. 5 minutes and 53 seconds to go in the opening quarter. The Dallas Diamonds want to spend the timeout. I would think a lot of this has to do with the tempo now. Probably not used to seeing this all year.
Yeah, as a defensive coordinator, you have to make adjustments and see how you're going to stop this offense. The Chicago Force are very potent. They mix in running pass very well. And this Dallas Diamonds defense needs to find an answer for this Force team.
Let's go down on the field. Katie Temple joins us. Katie?
Guys, one of the most, if not the most intense player on the field, Sammy Rasafi. I spoke with her before the game about what she expects tonight and what this team has to do to win.
I believe that the Chicago Force of 2013 will execute because the work has been put in, the preparation's all there. We have the best coaching staff in women's football. We have the greatest management in women's football. We have the hardest working team in women's football and the most talented women on the team. I believe as a collective whole, we have all the pieces in place. It's just a matter of executing it. And the only thing that could possibly keep us from winning the championship tomorrow is if we don't execute our game. That's it. I absolutely 100% believe that, and it will be reflected on the field tomorrow.
Well, they're executing so far. Rasafi has them first and goal at the 6. And she's going to keep it herself, and she's down to the 5-yard line, a gain of just a yard. She idolizes Joe Montana.
Number 52, Grayson for the tackle.
Not bad to idolize somebody of that magnitude.
2nd and goal.
2nd down and goal. It was a good timeout by Dallas. They made the necessary adjustment. And that time, Rasafi couldn't run it into the end zone. Last time, she kind of tucked that ball away from 21 yards out and ran in for the opening touchdown of the game and early movement. This might be costing the Chicago Force 5 extra yards. Well, we heard from Rasafi, and a lot of confidence because she threw for 2,500 yards in the regular season and then backed it up in the first 3 postseason games, throwing for close to 1,200 yards. That penalty goes against the Dallas Diamond, and it will cost the Diamonds half the distance to the goal line. 2nd and goal from the 2. And Grisafi is going to hand it off, and a touchdown. That's Mary Choles right up the middle, but hold everything at the 1-yard line. There's another penalty marker. So let me ask you, as a defensive coordinator, if you were one, and I know you played in the National Football League for 10 years, how would you defend this kind of a Chicago Force offense?
What you have to do is take chances on different levels. Show some blitzes from the outside, the inside as well, internally, and drop off into zones. You have to try to confuse an offense of this magnitude to see if you can figure out how to stop them.
Well, that helps right there. Self-inflicted wound by Chicago. That is a holding penalty. That'll back him up from the 2-yard line to the 12, a 10-yard penalty. Grisafi looking over at John Konecki, who was the Team USA head coach, his 7th year with the Force, his 4th as the head coach in Chicago. Barks out of play, and Grisafi going for the back right corner of the end zone, and it's incomplete. Intended for Javelay again, and finally they misfire.
I really like that the Chicago Force are pulling out all the stops on this championship game. That's what you're supposed to do to the game of this magnitude to try to get the victory, and that's what they're doing today.
Dallas Diamond right there, the Diamonds with a couple defending on Javelay, so they kind of figured out now what the game plan is Choles and Javelay, and looks like they have an extra body now on Javelay. 3rd down and goal from back at the 12-yard line for the Chicago Force. They're 11-0. They're in black. The Dallas Diamonds are in white. Trail at 7-0. Here's Javelay again in traffic, and Javelay will score the touchdown from 12 yards out, and it is 13-0 Chicago.
Dallas hasn't found an answer for Javelay yet. After she catches the football, she gets up the football field, makes people miss. She's tough to tackle as well. She gets in the end zone right here. Put this team up 14-0.
Chance at the extra point now to make it 14-0 with 4:58 to go. Waiting the extra point attempt. Under 5 minutes to go in the opening quarter play. High snap, and it's going to be 13-0.
High snap corralled by number 84, Dan Vermeil. Extra point, no good.
Perhaps one of the only problems that Chicago and their offense is going to have in their special teams all night. Guess you can kind of have those problems when you average close to 62 points a night.
Yeah, just a little hiccup. They're up 13-0 right now. See what happens on this drive, but Dallas needs to get something going on offense so they can put some points on the board and give their team some confidence.
2 possessions for the Chicago Force and a couple of touchdowns. Grisafi with a 21-yard touchdown run to make it 7-0, and then Grisafi a 12-yard TD throw to Javelay. Jessica with her first touchdown here in the championship game. Missed PAT makes it 13-0. And Charbonneau with another short kick, fielded at the 27-yard line. And up the far sideline, a great little grab there, and this is Tiffany Hill, and Hill is wrapped up and brought down at the 33-yard line, and it's Tricia Charbonneau, the place kicker, who makes the stop.
It's always a good thing when your place kicker can tackle. A lot of kickers get nervous in the open field. The place kicker had great balance and kept good angles and made the tackle. She took the brunt of the hit, but did a great job of preventing the touchdown.
Hey, you can appreciate that. I mean, that was fundamentally correct, breaking down. I mean, honestly, if I didn't every once in a while say that it was women's football, you wouldn't even know. I mean, they're playing an outstanding game. And Dallas has it on offense for the 3rd time here in the opening quarter. They've failed to score. And a quick little throw. That's Bushman again trying to hook up with Odessa Jenkins. And it's incomplete. Running step for step right there was Melissa Nelson.
Pass is incomplete. Number 45. Dorian Bridges in on the coverage. 2nd and 10.
Well, I hate to say this early on, but almost a must-score offensive possession here for Dallas. There, take a look at Brittany Bushman, 33 of 50 during the regular season before a knee injury interrupted her campaign. 698 yards, but again, the 14 touchdowns and the 1 pick. And nothing there. That play gets blown up big time. That's Angela Smith. She had 39 tackles this season, 20 for a loss to lead the force. And going absolutely nowhere on the carry was Tiffany Hill.
Chicago Force's defensive line are very disruptive. You can see there they got into the backfield for tackle for loss.
3rd down and 11. Bushman throwing for the first down marker and underthrows her intended receiver on the far sideline. She was looking for Alberta Bridson. And Bridson unable to haul it in. Incomplete pass, bringing up a 4th down and 12. And again, looks like they're going to be forced to go for it. Jenkins does the punting. We see Jenkins lining up on the slot left side, so Bushman will come back in. He's going to remain in the football game out of the shotgun. And they're going to try and run, and nothing there. Tiffany Hill normally averages Ralph 9.5 yards a carry. She's had 2 carries on this drive and wound up losing 2 yards.
And Chicago Force said right there on defense, you're not going to fool us. We know it's 4th and long, but we're going to get some internal pressure on you and shut you guys down.
Angel Smith, Kim Marks, Keisha Brooks all in on that stop. Nowhere for Tiffany Hill to go, and for the 2nd time in the opening quarter, the Dallas Diamonds turn it over on downs. 4:03 to go opening quarter play, 13-0 the Force with a lead. Trying to win their 3rd title in their last 6 years. Grisafi. Grisafi slings it out, and the catch is made at the 40-yard line. That's Jeanette Gray with her 2nd grab. She was the leading receiver during the regular season in the Women's Football Alliance with 53 grabs.
I love Gray. She's a tall body, very athletic. She can make you miss as well. She's more of a deep threat. Sammy Grisafi hits her down the field a lot. We should be hitting her today on these screens on the outside as well.
And what we should mention, and wouldn't appear this way from the score early on, is they're down a wide receiver. That's overthrown. That's intended for Ashley Berggren, who played hoops at Illinois. Actually has her number retired at Assembly Hall downstate. But the 2nd leading receiver during the regular season is Brandy Hatcher for the Chicago Force. And she is injured, not suiting up for this game. She had 51 grabs during the year. So Grisafi has led her team to 2 scoring drives, a little short-handed early on. Third and 5. First down make is the 47-yard line of Chicago. They'll keep it on the ground, a run. This is Darcy Leslie, and Leslie very close to that first down. Looks like she's going to get it by a yard.
The Dallas defense keeps getting the Chicago Force in 3rd and longs, but they give up the first down in these 3rd down and long situations. If they could have stopped Chicago Force here, they might have been getting the ball back.
That was Hannah Sori who made the tackle. She's a software engineer at Nokia when she's not playing football. Hails from Finland. 1st and 10. Grisafi to Javelay, and Javelay in space absorbs a hit at the 40, but has another first down.
Chicago Force are blocking very well. Javelay just reads her blocks, but that was a gaping hole. She gets up the field, but this Dallas Diamonds defense must improve on their tackling. They want to get this game closer today or have a chance to win this championship.
12th game of the season for both sides, and this Force offense looks incredibly in sync. That's Javelin in motion. They're going to hand it off to Darcy Leslie. She's up the middle, has another first down, and Leslie is down to the 22-yard line. It's a gain of 17 yards on that run there by Darcy Leslie.
Great play call on the offense of Chicago Force. Misdirection, which ends up going inside, almost like a trap. The offensive line are getting up to the second level and getting good blocks, which allowed Leslie to get a big gain on that play.
Still in the opening quarter, third possession of the football game for the Chicago Force, and they've scored on their first two. Coming up on 2 to go in this opening quarter. Grisafi running to the left side and will dump it off, and it's Berggren making the catch, and Berggren gets to the 15-yard line. We'll bring up second down and about 2.
You got to think, Steve, this is only the first quarter. If this continues, how will the Dallas Diamonds contain themselves or hold up through 4 quarters of this?
Yeah, one of the first things I asked John Konecki, because again, they score about 60 per game and have scored as many as 84 in a game. I said, is there any mercy rule? He said, not at all. Second down and short, right up the middle, another touchdown, and that is Mary Scholes. Scholes scored 9 touchdowns during the regular season, has one here in the championship game. It's now 19-0, the Chicago Force.
And now just a simple handoff to Scholes, a huge hole on the inside. It seems like the Dallas Diamonds defense is wearing down.
Not like the sprinkler at the end right there. Did you ever find the end zone in your 10-year career or pick or anything? Did you?
Yeah, I was fortunate to have an interception on Monday Night Football. Did a little celebrating. So with Scholes in the end zone, I'm all about that.
You didn't break out the sprinkler, though, did you?
No.
All right. They'll go for 2 to try and pick up the missed extra point on their last touchdown drive. 3 for 3 on drives. Grisafi in trouble, under pressure, eludes 2 defenders, keeps it alive, and it's a 2-point conversion into the hands of Ashley Berggren, who played hoops at Illinois.
What can we say about Sammy Grisafi? This is a play of not having any of her targets and saying, I won't die, keeping her eyes down the football field and finding her target for the touchdown. Sammy Grisafi can be on my team any day.
She got away from Alex Harvey, who was all conference, and Hannah Sori. And it is 21-0, the Chicago Force, and we still have 2 minutes and 6 seconds to go here in the opening quarter play. But again, it should come as no surprise. They scored 84 points on Atlanta in the second playoff game, and they scored 82 on Indy back in what looks to be week 7 of the season. For the Chicago Force, 495 points during the regular season. It's unbelievable. I mean, as you look down, I mean, would you even imagine that there's women underneath the helmets there?
The athletic ability of some of these women is amazing.
It looks incredibly crisp, and of course that's what the message that they want to get is that ball is dead at the 26-yard line, and they want to get out as, hey, anybody can play football. Let's go back down to the field. Katie Temple.
I can't play football, Steve. I'm just here to watch it. It's becoming the Sammy Grisafi show, so we're going to go ahead and play along. I spoke with her before the game. One of the reasons that she's extra excited for tonight's game is because she grew up in Redlands, grew up there, played football with the boy in Redlands High School for the boys team. Extra excited that she's going to have friends and family here. First time she's playing in California since she's 15 years old. This is what she had to say.
This game is extra special for me because there's a lot of folks that are going to be there that happen to be related to me who haven't seen me play since I was 15 years old. So I'm going to have a lot of family out there, and it's also the first game I've played on California soil since I was 15 as well. So it's a homecoming championship, which is kind of a cool thing to be a part of.
Well, we just had one play there while you're listening to Sammy Grisafi, and Jenkins back at quarterback and tried to throw and misfired, so it'll bring up a 2nd down and 10 back at the 26-yard line. We started to talk about the fact that in that Inland Empire where she played, that's some terrific high school football with the likes of Redlands East Valley. Out there also is Fontana and Kaiser and all those high schools. I mean, you played at Bishop Amat, and she actually got in a varsity game and played a game at quarterback. There's a fumble. That might be a turnover, and it might be the first turnover of the ball game. We'll see if Dallas got it back. And it looks like they did. It'll bring up a 3rd down now.
Fumble on the play. Dallas is able to recover. Chelsea Nikita on the recovery. They're making 3rd and 12.
That was Tiffany Hill. Didn't have much success on the last drive. Losing a couple of yards, almost lost the football there. Dallas gets it back. But looking at a 3rd down and 12, and this is not very manageable against this Chicago Force defense. This is Jenkins to throw. Lobs it up near sideline, and the catch is made for a 1st down at the 49-yard line. That's a heck of a grab there. Unique Webb with a grab.
And that was just what the Dallas Diamonds needed, a big chunk yardage play down the sidelines. And look who threw it, Odessa Jenkins. They switched quarterbacks, and Yumika Webb does a great job of hauling this ball in.
Looked a little bit like, I think it was your former teammate, David Boston there for a while. It's built a lot like David. He used to do that up the seam there. Here's Jenkins with pass protection and misfires to the left. That play got blown up. I think she was trying to get it to Brittany Satterwhite out of the backfield, but Satterwhite couldn't get there. 90 seconds to go in the opening quarter. It's been all Chicago Force in what is a rematch of the championship game played not too long ago. These two teams played it back in 2008 with Dallas getting the best of Chicago, 33-29 in double overtime. Jenkins sets up the play and dumps it off to Tiffany Hill, and nothing going at the 40-yard line as Hill gets dropped from behind.
I got to tell you, this Chicago Force defense is dialed in. They're all disciplined, doing their job. Leslie forced the pocket, but the defense ended up tackling the play for a non-gain.
Melissa Nelson, a linebacker, wasn't fooled by that as they tried to set up that screen. Drops the Dallas Diamonds offensive player there for a loss, and it brings up 3rd down and long, 3rd and 17, under a minute to go in the opening quarter. On a delightful night, Jenkins picks up a block, heaves it long left side incomplete, bringing up a 4th down and long. And I don't see any penalty flags, although Jenkins is pointing over towards the official there. And in fact, a flag did fall. And it's going to be a hold, and it is going against the Chicago Force. Ball was at the 40-yard line of Dallas. Penalty marker was thrown up near the original line of scrimmage at the 47-yard line. So defensive holding here against the Chicago Force, and a big break for Dallas. Not enough, however, to give them the 1st down, but perhaps give them, well, actually they are calling it a 1st down. So defensive holding, an automatic 1st down as we play by the NCAA rules. So a fresh set of downs for Dallas, what looked to be a disastrous drive on 3rd and 17. Here's Hill. Hill off to the races. Hill to the 20. Hill to the 5. Touchdown, Tiffany Hill.
Number 21 for the Diamonds. Blast through the middle, turns on the catch, 50-yard touchdown run. Dallas.
Tiffany Hill found the end zone twice during the regular season, finds it here in the championship game, and Dallas not going quietly here with 29.1 seconds to go. in this opening quarter.
I noticed on that play that the Chicago Force didn't have a safety back. They had everybody up on the line of scrimmage and at a second level. So once the running back can get to the second level or the third, there's nobody back there. And Hill did just that by getting into the end zone. She turned on the Jets and gave some life to this Dallas Diamonds team.
Turned out to be a huge defensive holding call. And Jenkins will go for 2, firing for the corner of the end zone and trying to hit her intended receiver in Yumika Webb. Webb had a big catch on this scoring drive here. Dallas is on the board for the first time in this game. It is 21-6 with 29.1 to go. It was a great piece of running by Hill right there, especially after her first 3 touches went basically for nothing. But the stick-to-itness of the Dallas Diamonds, and they finally run for a long touchdown. Let's look at it one more time.
Yeah, Hill's a burner, and she got up to the second level, made it somebody miss. Once she got up to the third level, there was nobody there. She turned on the Jets to get in the end zone.
This is the 2013 Women's Football Alliance Silver Sports National Championship game. Alongside Ralph Brown, Katie Temple working the sidelines for us. We're at Balboa Stadium, early August. They might want to have this championship game here every year. It's one of those Chamber of Commerce days. Not sure where a lot of folks are watching. I would imagine there's a lot watching in Dallas and Chicago right now, probably roasting in the heat with the humidity, but it's got to be 75 degrees right now. We might not want to tell too many people. They might wind up moving here.
It's a beautiful day out here.
Short kick. My Doppler 4000 radar says it's 70 degrees right now as we play just past 7 o'clock out here on the West Coast. That's out of bounds. It invokes a penalty flag. And now a decision time. Either that football be taken up at the 35-yard line for the Force, or they can have Dallas kick it again. I would imagine they're just going to take the football up the 35-yard line. And let Sammy Grisafi right now try and go another 65 yards. Why not? They're a perfect 3 for 3 so far. They've possessed the football 3 times in the opening quarter play. This is their 4th possession. Perhaps they'll score one more time here in the opening quarter on a quick little touch.
It's very possible with Sammy Grisafi in the backfield with these wide receivers.
Grisafi passed for almost 2,600 yards in the regular season. No one in the Women's Football Alliance threw for more yards. And a quick timeout. She threw for 1,200, almost 1,200 in the first 3 games here in the postseason. So each team has spent 1 timeout. They'll have 2 left with 29.1 to go here in the opening quarter play. What are your impressions so far, Ralph?
I think the Chicago Force have came out ready to play. They've lived up to the hype. And the Dallas Diamonds may have came out a little flat and nervous with that touchdown. We'll see what happens after that. But the Dallas Diamonds must stop the Chicago Force to get back in this.
Let's go back down to Katie Temple. Katie?
Yeah, Ralph and Steve, I think you've got it right on the money. And I'm down here on the sideline with the Chicago Force, and I don't know how much y'all have seen, but John Konecki is very, very intense, and Sammy Grisafi is very, very intense. And I talked about both of them yesterday about that intensity, and it's kind of funny because they're both so intense that they kind of need to balance each other out. And Konecki told me, sometimes I have to rein her in, but sometimes she has to rein me in. But apparently it's working out here.
Thanks, Katie. It certainly is. They're going to go for the quick strike here, and it's incomplete. Up the near sideline, intended for Gray, who's made a couple of big catches.
She's the deep threat. She has that height.
Going to bring up a 2nd down and 10 now. I know there's one guy watching back home, the assistant coach who couldn't be out here, Coach Mack. We're told, your team loves you, Coach. They wish you could be here watching this championship game. They've dedicated it to your honor right here. And a short little carry here on 2nd down and long. And not much there as Mary Choles, who's scored a touchdown, has a carry, and that might be the very final play here of the first quarter. Never say never, though, with this up-tempo, no-huddle offense of the Chicago Force. They're not going to be able to get a playoff, though. And so Sammy Grisafi will come to the sideline when we get back for the second quarter. It'll be a 3rd down and 9 they'll be looking at. We'll go back down on the field. Katie Temple. Katie?
Guys, back to John Konecki. Just a little more insight about how this very intense coach thinks. I chatted with him about this game, a battle of two of the best, both teams undefeated, how the Force was going to come out a victor.
And I think you have to approach it that way. I think if you approach it any differently, I think it starts to cloud your mind. And obviously, I'm excited that we're here. While I may not show that right now. I think that I'm excited for the team. I'm excited for the organization. This is the 3rd time that we've been a national champions, 6 years. We've been to 4 Final Fours. We've come here 3 times now, and to the date, we don't have a national championship. We lost in 2008, 29-33 to the Dallas Diamonds in sudden death overtime. Last year against the San Diego Surge, we're up 12 with 2:25 left, and we figured out a way to lose the game. And so today, or tomorrow, our job is to put forth our best foot and try to play as good of a game as we possibly can.
Stephen Ralph, not that he's wearing it at all, that he doesn't have this championship, dying to win, clearly just chomping at the bit. Curious what, Ralph, you've seen from his coaching style so far.
I think he's been doing a great job mixing in run and pass. His team is very poised and confident. Everybody's disciplined and playing up to the stage so far.
Mike.
He certainly has the Midas touch. Big 3rd down and 9. Grisafi under pressure, throws, and the catch is made. And that is Berggren again, and she's got enough for the 1st down as she's forced out of bounds on the far sideline.
That was a huge 1st down for Chicago, but more draining for Dallas. This is another 3rd down and long that they've given up, and now it changes over the field and gives Chicago Force more confidence.
Yeah, I don't think they wanted to give the Force the football 4 times in the opening quarter play. That's trouble. Grisafi now on a 1st down and 10 with a tighter formation. Gets good blocking, looks right, throws right, and almost caught there, Javelin.
Little wheel route action here for you. Grisafi looks for Javelin down the right sideline. Ball's incomplete.
Just a nice little stutter go on the outside. Grisafi pumps. Puts this out just a little bit far outside the reach of Javelin. She couldn't haul this in. It would have been huge for the Chicago Force.
Yeah, she did a nice job getting away from her defender. Got nice separation away from Liz Landry. 2nd down and 10. Grisafi with a handoff on the counter play, and close to a 1st down there is Mary Choles. Back to Konecki here for a moment. We were talking about his pedigree and his background. This would be the 4th championship in a year for him. He won a 6A title as a high school football coach back home in Illinois at Crete Monty High School in Crete, Illinois, and also as the head coach of Team USA, the women's football team. Won a championship.
I think Coach K has endured enough defeat in this championship game. He's ready for a championship now.
3rd and short. Got to get the football past the 38 of Dallas. Sammy Grisafi picks up the signals from her sideline to her right. Looked right, looked left, and then threw back right, and a catch is made, and it's Gray. And Gray with space. Touchdown, Jeanette Gray. (27-6) Chicago.
Great job again, mixing in run and pass. This time they just had a convoy of offensive linemen getting to the outside for Gray to catch this football, read her blocks, and do the rest and score this touchdown.
Grisafi with her 2nd touchdown throw of the football game. And Chicago has a 27-6 advantage. They're 4 for 4 on each one of their drives. And I think if I was the punter right now for the Chicago Force, I'd probably see if I could get into SeaWorld before the fireworks. And that extra point is up and good. And with 14-17 to go in the second quarter, it is 28-6 Chicago. And they are right on pace, actually ahead of pace, to score another 60 points here tonight.
And you got to look at the Dallas defense. They got to be angry with themselves for giving up that 3rd and long. They had a chance to get off the field on that 3rd down so their offense can get the ball back. Instead, they give up that 1st down, which ends up for a touchdown for their opponent.
Long TD throw for Safi to Jeanette Gray. Jeanette Gray, we told you, the leading receiver in the WFA during the year with 53 catches, and the leading receiver in the postseason as well. She came in with another 32 postseason catches for 646 yards and 9 touchdowns. So she just picked up her 10th touchdown here in the postseason. And the very busy Tricia Charbonneau to kick it off again. All her kicks have been quite short kicks. This one a little bit longer than before. It'll be fielded back at the 20-yard line. And the return is out to the 35-yard line, and that's where the Dallas Diamonds will get the football again. 14:09 to go here in quarter number 2. And they are chasing 22 right now.
This Dallas team can't get anxious. They got to just take their time, take it one drive at a time, try to see if they can chip away at the lead.
Told you Dallas is capable of scoring some points. Matter of fact, the least amount of points that they have scored this season would have been 27 in their last playoff game against the Central California War Angels. Other than that, some of the points this year, 68, 55, 68. They once scored 82 against the Lone Star Mustangs. So they have it in them. I just don't think they've seen a defense as good as the Chicago Force. As we get another penalty marker here. And that's a false start against the Dallas Diamonds. Diamonds on defense only gave up 22 points in the regular season. The defense posted 5 shutouts in the regular season, so they're not used to giving up 28. And as a matter of fact, the 28 points on the board right now for the Force are the most that Dallas has given up this year. This is Jenkins back at quarterback, lobs it up right side, and the catch is made there. And a gain of about 10 yards on the grab. Looked like it was Brittany Satterwhite who makes another grab in this game. And we have another flag. That's in the backfield, sitting at the 18-yard line. You got a lot of ladies who can catch the football. And then when they get into space, they know exactly what to do with it. Tremendous athleticism.
Yeah, they're very athletic. Can make people miss in their phone booth. But they're just athletic girls out here that I'm amazed at today.
15-yard penalty against the Chicago Force. It's going to be a personal foul called against the Force. And that will give the football to the Dallas Diamonds. And that is in fact roughing the passer against the Chicago Force. About what we expected behind the play there. Little extracurricular activity on Odessa Jenkins. She'll gladly take the extra yardage. 1st and 10 at the 45 of Chicago. Jenkins is going to run. Jenkins to the right side, and Jenkins dances her way out of bounds at the 42.
Jenkins on the keeper. Pick up a 4.
Jenkins stepped up when Brittany Bushman was lost to a knee injury midway through the season. And what they did was they ran the Wildcat and wound up getting to 11-0. As a result, they got to the championship game. She was so good at it, named all-conference. Mess of all-conference players on the team. And a mess of ladies who have represented the United States in international competition playing women's football. And Team USA just came away with a gold medal here not too long ago. Jenkins again on a 2nd down and 6. The football is lost, and that's our first turnover of the ball game as The Chicago Force come up with it, and it's Kim Marks, an all-conference defensive tackle, who doubles as an attorney.
And Odessa Jenkins just dropped this football. I think she was looking forward to see what she was going to do with the ball or possibly hand it off. Lost concentration. That's a costly fumble at this time of the game.
First turnover, that is, the ball game for either side. I think she was looking for the whistle to be blown there and should have jumped all over it. Instead, Chicago comes away with a turnover. They have the football for the 5th time. See if they can go 5 for 5 on scoring drives. Javelin in space running right and is out of bounds at the 33-yard line. It's going to be hard to pick a player of the game if this continues here. Grisafi and Javelin have just been outstanding for the Force. Chicago Force play their home games at Evanston Township High School in Chicago. I'm not sure if you've been there. Were you there when you were in Nebraska? Did you guys ever have to play Northwestern?
No, we didn't play any. Big Ten teams we played were Michigan State. I wish we could have played Northwestern. Great school.
You would have now had you gone to school, 12 years later.
Big Ten. It's a really good conference. A lot of improvements going on there.
A lot of these women on both sides played either softball or basketball in the Big Ten. And this is Mary Scholes again with another run and another first down make here for the Chicago Force.
And I like Mary Scholes. She's built low to the ground. You can't see her behind those offensive linemen. She just squeezes through the hole for a nice gain. She's a hard runner too, tough to tackle.
Still 13 minutes to go. Fake left, throw right, and this is Jeanette Gray. Ball is loose. And Javelin can't get her fingers off the football, huh? She comes up with it at the 19-yard line, bringing up a 2nd down and long. Chicago Force into the no huddle. They were the 4th seed, opened the playoffs on June the 22nd. After a first-round bye, they beat Cleveland 65-7. And there's another penalty marker on the handoff there to Scholes. They then shut out Atlanta 84-0. Got quite a game in the semifinals by Boston, 46-27. And they lead here in the championship game at Balboa Stadium in San Diego, 28-6. Just under 13 minutes to go before halftime. And that's going to be a penalty against the Dallas Diamonds.
Personal foul, face mask on the
A face mask, a personal foul. That's going to cost him 15 yards. I'm not sure the 85 Bears would be able to stop the Chicago Force right now.
This is a powerful offense. Great mix of run and pass. The Dallas Diamonds are shooting themselves in the foot right now with the turnover and now 15-yard penalty.
Grisafi has been part of a couple of touchdown throws and a touchdown run. And Grisafi going left. And now we'll just spike it right into the ground. Ball is loose, but there's a penalty marker. Our officiating crew has been quite busy. Gary Bram is our head referee here tonight. And a holding penalty against Chicago. So they just picked up 15 yards on a personal foul face masking call. They give 10 right back. Football will be back at the 22-yard line now. They'll wind the clock here. Coming up on 12 and a half to go. Grisafi and early movement again. And another penalty marker. A little aggressive play right there by Alex Harvey, getting in the face of Sammy Grisafi. Look at this. Look right there in the middle. That's a 5-yard false start penalty. 3 consecutive penalties now. Believe it or not, it was first down and 10 at the 11-yard line, and the Chicago Force still can get another first down if they get it to the 1. Instead, the football now is all the way back at the 25-yard line.
It's another opportunity for Dallas to get a stop here and prevent a touchdown. They haven't in these other situations, but we'll see if they can do that here.
Yeah, that's a good point. Chicago has possessed the football 4 times, and they've scored on all 4, and it looks like they're going to score on a 5th. That's Gray, and is she in? Let's see. Nope, she's out of bounds, awfully near the first down marker at the 1. And we told you they could make it first and goal and get a first down, and it looks like they did right at the 1-foot line. It is, in fact, a first down and goal from the 1.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that was a missed assignment, but Gray was wide open at around the 4-yard line. Easy pitch and catch from Sammy Grisafi to Gray. This could have been a touchdown.
This is usually Chole's territory right here. Instead, they'll pitch it to Leslie, and Leslie dives forward for the end zone. We have no signal yet from our officials. Still awaiting word from our officials. And that, in fact, is a touchdown. Leslie with a 1-yard touchdown run.
Now it's just a power game inside. Get all your linemen in front, pull them, and get a nice surge. Leslie scores a touchdown, kind of with ease. You have to wonder about this Dallas Diamonds defense. How are they going to carry this team going into the second half?
And they're going to go for 2, and Leslie is in. And 2 more points up on the board there for the Chicago Force. They lead it by 30 at 36-6. They are a perfect 5 for 5. Dallas has yet to make a stop on defense, and a very costly turnover right there. When you look up, you see 36 points, and you think there has to be more points off turnovers. That's not the case. That's our first points of the game off of turnovers. We've had just 1 turnover. And right in front of us, Ralph, there's a lot of happy fans who made the trek from Chicago.
Yeah, they have a lot of energy supporting their team. They have a lot to be proud of. Chicago's Force team came to play today, scored 36 points already, 11:59 left in the half.
Let's go down on the field and rejoin the 3rd member of our team, Katie Temple. Katie?
Guys, Darcy Leslie obviously having a good game, just scored a touchdown and the 2-point conversion. As you know, playing on both sides of the ball, and I talked to her about that, and she said that she's been working on that health-wise. She's in the best shape of her life. I asked her what it would mean to her to win a championship for Chicago.
This is my 6th year playing, and I continue to come back because I want to win a championship, not only for myself, but for my teammates and for all of the people that have played for the Force and retired, our fans. We have the best fans out there, so I just really want to do it for them and finally bring the championship home to Chicago.
They may, in fact, get it. A 30-point advantage here in the second quarter with 11:57 to go. That kickoff went out of bounds, but not before it was touched by Tiffany Hill on the far sideline. So a break for the Force, and the Dallas Diamonds are going to get it, pinned back pretty deep in their own territory. Dallas had a wonderful year. They were 11-0 American Conference champs. This Women's Football Alliance is divided between the AFC and the NFC, much like the NFL. And the NFC had 6 divisions. And a couple of teams go a perfect 10-0 during the regular season as Jenkins lofts it up and a catch is made. That's Satterwhite, and Satterwhite is gone for the touchdown. Exactly what Dallas needed to counterpunch Chicago in their 5 for 5 offensive possessions. That is 77 yards.
Odessa Turner's a great athlete with her leg, but she throws a dime to Satterwhite, as Satterwhite does the rest. She pulls away from her defender and goes 77 yards for the touchdown to give this Dallas Diamonds team a ray of hope again.
Second touchdown of the game, and the second long touchdown for Dallas. You might recall Tiffany Hill had a long touchdown run back in the first quarter with 29.1 seconds to go. It wasn't too long ago, to be honest with you, with 11:44 to go here in the second. They go for two, and that pass is incomplete. That was intended for Alberta Bridson. And so it is now 36-12. That shouldn't come as a surprise. Satterwhite has been outstanding receiving the football this year. 9 touchdowns during the regular season. She ran for another 4 in the regular season. Is having a good postseason here. A 24-point advantage now for Chicago, who's led by as many as 30. And here we look at Jenkins one more time. Satterwhite's got some moves out there and some speed in the open field.
She might be the one Dallas tries to get the ball to moving forward now that Odessa Jenkins is that quarterback.
Yeah, I'm not sure the offense has to make as many adjustments as that defense has got to find a way to make at least 1 or 2 stops. And it also, I presume, hurts Dallas, too, to score as quickly as they have on a couple of possessions, because we had talked about this in the open, that you want to get some first downs and you want drives of 10, 11, 12 plays. Atiano to kick off. And they try a short little kick to try and get the football back. And the onside kick to no avail. Chicago has it back. 6th possession of the game. And another short field for the Chicago Force.
Not sure if that was the best choice at this time in the game. You got to take chances as a coach. Matt Russell thought they might be able to get the recovery on that play, turn the tables again, but it didn't work out. Now your defense has to step up.
Grisafi down. And a handoff. And right up the middle, running for 7 yards. And that is Mary Scholes again. A lot of touches for her, a lot of work. She's going to be awfully tired here at the conclusion of this night, because there's still a long way to go. We still have 41 minutes and 20 seconds of football to be played here at Balboa Stadium. We're in San Diego. Steve Quist, Ralph Brown, Katie Temple with you. 2013 Women's Football Alliance Silver Sport National Championship game. Chicago has scored on every one of their possessions, and they'll go on the ground again. Mary Scholes with another run. Yard shy of the first down.
She's gaining 4 and 5 yards a pop. That's still not good for your offense. Now it's going to be 3rd and 1. Not keeping the forcing long yardage and 3rd downs.
Most likely 2-down territory here for the Force with that 24-point advantage. They got 2 plays to get a yard, and Dallas has been unable to stop Chicago at all here in the opening quarter and a half. And Scholes again, 3rd consecutive carry, and they got another first down. So this is what Dallas should be doing when they possess the football.
Yeah, I think the Force are trying to wear down the inside of this Dallas Diamonds defense. They did on 3 plays. It's showing that they're getting 4 and 5 yards a pop. They probably might continue to do this, and then I think try a pass over the top for a touchdown possibly.
Grisafi, pressure coming. She got hit, throws it incomplete, intended for Ashley Berggren. And there was pressure coming in the middle. It looked like it was Alex Harvey. Harvey with 5.5 sacks during the season, almost got to Grisafi there. Second down and 10.
Pass ball is incomplete. 2nd and 10.
What a wonderful night for a championship game, and both sides filling up their sides of the stands. We got a lot of fans here for this championship game. Game was played last year at Heinz Field in Pittsburgh with the San Diego Surge beating the Force. Very tight game. Safi, and that's incomplete. Good defense on the play. That is Liz Landry defending. And of course the intended receiver was Jessica Javalet. Incomplete, 2nd down and 10.
It's a good job by the DB staying in the hip pocket and getting that breakup. Once again, we're in 3rd and 10. Can the Dallas Diamonds step up and try to get the ball in their hands so they can score and get this game close again?
They have not forced the Force to punt yet. Again, for all we know, the punter could be at SeaWorld. There's a catch. Berggren. Berggren fighting for the first down. She's out of bounds right at the 29-yard line. So they do still have some heavy lifting here to do. 3rd down and short. Check it, 4th down and 2.
Force haven't been stopped yet. Why not go for it on 4th down?
A chance for Dallas to finally get the Force off the field. 4th down and 2. One receiver left. 3 receivers right. Bersafi looks right and heaves it up, and what do you know? Dallas has finally stopped the Chicago Force. It took them almost 18 minutes. But after scoring on their first 5 possessions, the Force turned it over on downs.
And there's a lot of time left in this game. This stop was huge. This offense has been running pretty well with Odessa Jenkins now back at quarterback. So let's see what they can do here on this drive.
Jenkins on the last drive threw a 77-yard touchdown pass to Satterwhite. See, they get another quick strike here. We saw some Brittany Bushman early, trying to operate the defense on the first couple of, or offense that is, on the first couple of possessions. They'll keep it on the ground. This is Hill. Hill bouncing to the outside, and Hill gets a couple of yards.
You have to cheat this side.
Number 21, Hill on the run. 82, Dantuma in for the tackle. Pickup of 2, 2nd and 8.
Martha Dantuma making the stop. She's had 6 pass deflections on the season, a couple of interceptions here in the postseason. And incomplete.
And those are the opportunities that you have to take advantage of when you're wide open. You can't be anxious. She would have caught this ball, could have been for a nice gain. Now it's 3rd and 8.
And not the manageable down and distance you want to have against Chicago.
Hey.
Force again yielding not much on defense this season, allowing just 60 points all year in what is their 11th year as a franchise. Jenkins on a big 3rd down and 8, fires over the middle, and it's off the fingertips of the intended receiver, Satterwhite. If she made that catch, it would have been a first down. Instead, it's decision time, 4th and long, Ralph.
Yeah, Odessa Jenkins is a great thrower. This is actually a wide open pass just over the outstretched hands of the offensive player. They could have got this. Would have been huge for Dallas.
Jenkins also doubles as the punter. She's kicked it away once already. It was in the opening quarter. And she's going to punt it away again and punts it straight up into the air. And it's going to take a forced bounce, and that punt wouldn't have even made the first down mark. And it turned out to be about a 3-yard punt. And great starting field position again for the Chicago Force. And remember, they had pretty good starting field position on their last possession, and finally Dallas was able to get them off the field on downs.
Let's see if they can do it again. Their offense needs to score points as well, but their defense has already given up 36.
And you look at that bench over there. It doesn't look all that deep, too. You know, there's, of course, travel concerns for both these teams, so both teams not bringing a full complement of their players, as that run right there by Scholes goes for a short little gain of maybe a yard.
No gain, 2nd and 10.
Grisafe back in there at quarterback out of the shotgun, where she's been this entire game with the exception of a couple of plays. She'll run right and throws, and that catch is made. Jessica Javelay again. It'll be well short of the first down at the 33-yard line. They still have about 5 yards to go. Are you noticing any defensive changes by Dallas at all on the last 2 drives that have kind of disrupted things for the Force?
Well, it looks like they're doing a little bit more disguising on the defense side of the ball. Haven't seen too many blitzes. They might be worried about the one-on-one matchups with these wide receivers on the outside of the Force. But they're disguising a little more, seeing the matchups improve and doubling more of the big threat receivers with Javelette and Gray.
Penalty, a hold against the Chicago Force. Their last 2 drives have not been as crisp and brilliant as the first 5 that led to points. Chicago had as big as a 30-point advantage here not too long ago. 8:04 to go in the second quarter. 2nd down and 20. Grisafe is 28 years old, a musician and bartender when she's not playing football. Heaves it long downfield for Javelay, and defending step for step there is Liz Landry, and she's going to get called for pass interference. That is a big break there for the Force.
Yeah, that was huge. I think at this stage, sometimes a little bumping down the field isn't too bad. I think she played this pretty well. I disagree with that. I think that was great coverage down the field. But it's always up to the referee.
Again, NCAA rules, so it's pass interference. They're not going to get the ball down inside the 20-yard line. It looked like at the end she just kind of put that right hand up. Not sure she was going for the ball or not, but the official didn't think so, and a penalty marker is thrown.
Hey, Dana, go inside.
And that'll bring up a 1st down and 10. Again, not going to get it because of the NCAA rules inside the 20-yard line. Instead, the football will rest at the 34-yard line on a 1st down and 10. Grisafe has been outstanding. She ran for a 21-yard touchdown on the opening drive, threw a 12-yarder to Javelay, and threw a long touchdown throw to Gray. Now she's going to take off and run again and gets hammered about 4 yards shy of the 1st down. Coming up and making the stop, Nicole Coffin, the middle linebacker.
Grisafi's a tough player. She just got up with ease, kind of slapped herself in the head and said, hey, let's keep this going. She's an exciting player, a strong blood. She's the leader of this team.
7:20 and counting to go, opening half of play. 1st down make is the 24. Grisafe look left, throws right, and that is Gray again. Gray eludes a tackler. Gray to the end zone. Touchdown, Chicago. Grisafe to Gray, and Jeanette in the end zone for the 2nd time here in this quarter.
There's another misdirection to the left. Sammy Grisafe comes back to her right, and Gray just does the rest. But give credit to the offensive line. They stay on their blocks, and they created that lane for Gray. She just read the hole and turned on the Jets to get in the end zone.
3rd touchdown pass of the game for Grisafe, the 2nd to Gray. And Dallas unable to stop the Force on this drive as the extra point attempt sails underneath. And it's 42-12, back to a 30-point advantage for the Chicago Force Exactly 7 minutes to go here in the second quarter of play. Fans in front of us are going to get worn out. They've got to raise the roof here every single time the team scores a point. So,
yeah, I think you got to be long-winded, have a lot of energy for this game. At this scoring clip that the Force are at, it might be at 100 points by the time this game is over.
Everyone in front of us, regardless of the age, has well-sculpted biceps and triceps. And that's because this team has scored over 500 points this season. They've scored 42 in the first quarter and a half. First 23 minutes of this football game, they put 42 points on the board.
If you want to get in shape, just become a Chicago Force fan.
Let's go to Evanston Township High School next year when they start the football. Starts in the spring. The playoffs start in June. And the championship game played here the opening weekend of the month of August. And chances are your team's going to get an opportunity to come here. And when you do, you can have that Chamber of Commerce weather that we're enjoying here. Just August the 3rd, we're down in the 60s right now. 66 degrees.
You gotta love it.
Now, as native Southern Californians, we know, the month that we pay for it. It'll be, 99 degrees on Newport Beach on October the 15th, or in Newport Beach. Here's Jenkins with a run. And Jenkins taking off for the first down marker. And Jenkins squirts free and out of bounds at the Chicago 45-yard line for a Dallas Diamond first down. Down to the field we go. Katie Temple.
And guys, I know that we keep talking about the intensity of Grisafi and Konecki and this Chicago Force team, but I mean, I can't say enough. They're up by 30 and I'm down on the sideline, and you can't tell that they're winning by 30 points just still in the first half. No one's joking around. Grisafi's walking up and down the sideline, frustrated. She wants things perfect. The coaches are intense, and you just can't tell that they're up by 30 so early in the game.
Thank you, Katie. 6:34 and counting. 30-point advantage for Chicago, matching their biggest of the ball game. And there was some early movement, and we have another penalty marker. The Dallas Diamonds are playing in their second championship game in Southern California. They won a women's professional football league title back in 2004. There's been a number of women's leagues over the years. This one the most successful, the Women's Football Alliance, and a lot of times they've just kind of merged, taking on all comers. And this year there was 50 teams that they started with. They started with 60 last year. And Dallas, their title came in Southern California back in 2004. They played up in Long Beach. First down and 15. And another penalty mark. And another false start against Dallas. They're out of sync now.
You got to figure out a way to get this back together, get on track to try to get this, turn this into a game. They probably would want to press the reset button right now.
Yeah, or maybe not with the way the Force have played. Maybe just take your medicine and go to that after-hour party. Call it a great trip here. Again, none of the ladies in this game draw a paycheck. As a matter of fact, they pay to play, and that doesn't guarantee that they'll actually get on the field. About $600 to play for the year. Told you we have school teachers out there, lawyers, Chicago Police Department, and Dallas Police Department. And there's a pick, and that's going to be a pick six. Dorian Bridges, and Bridges got pushed out of bounds at the 22-yard line. Looked like she was going to go the distance for the pick six, and the Dallas Diamonds were able to close on it.
Man, from Odessa Jenkins' view, this wide receiver looked wide open.
Yeah, that ball should not have been thrown. Jenkins wasn't quite sure where she was throwing.
Now, Dorian Bridges came out of center field off her man, just read that ball. Another interception or turnover. And Dallas Diamond. A little extra added on top, dancing on the sidelines. Gotta love that.
Already seen the sprinkler by Mary Choles. And it's back on offense again for The Chicago Force only one time in this first half have they failed to score. They turned it over on downs and a penalty marker. Legal substitution against the Dallas Diamonds. Cost him 5 yards. And a first down and 5 now for the Chicago Force.
Would mean so much for Coach Konecny to win this game. He's seen and tasted a lead slip through his hands, so he's not going to take anything for granted tonight.
Yeah, he's telling about us that. And there's another touchdown throw. And guess who? Grisafe to Jessica Javelay. And that is the 4th touchdown throw of the first half for Grisafe. She's having a Kurt Warner type day. He used to do this for the Iowa Barnstormers before becoming a Ram.
Yeah, this is similar to the greatest show on turf, Kurt Warner.
That's right.
Isaac Bruce and Torrey Hope catching these footballs. Javelay and Gray are making them look similar out there on the field today.
Javelay with her 2nd touchdown grab of the game. She had one in the first quarter, 12 yards from Grisafe. And Grisafe just threw her 4th touchdown pass. In the postseason now, 21 touchdown throws for Grisafe and just 2 interceptions. And during the regular season, 32 touchdown throws and 3 picks. And with a 48-12 score, they're going to get some different personnel in here right now, and it looks like they'll go for 2. And forget about going for the extra point. Let's make this 50 on the scoreboard with 5:35 to go. I think they'll get to 100.
At this rate, it's very possible. Still have 5.5 left.
Grisafe throws, and yep, they got 2. They have 50. Javelay with a 2-point conversion, and it is 50-12.
What impresses me the most about Grisafe, she knows where all of her intended targets are, even when she's scrambling. And they're on the same page at all times. She hits Javelay in the end zone for the 2-point conversion. And it doesn't seem like this offense is going to stop by the end of this night.
They were 5 for 5 before they misfired. They have now scored on 8 of 9 drives in the first half of play. They're almost to their average before halftime. Again, the Force, their season high 84 points scored against the Atlanta Phoenix. 2nd game of the postseason. They shut out the Phoenix 84-0. They scored 82 earlier this season. I think they're going to blow right past that. Still plenty of time to go before halftime. Here's Charbonneau again from the 35. Another short kick. This is going to be good starting field position for the Dallas Diamond. It looks like it was Liz Landry who fielded that football, and it was in fact Landry. So the Diamonds will go back to work. See if they're going to send out Brittany Bushman. Let's go back down on the field. Katie Temple.
Stephen, Ralph, I heard you talking earlier about the fact that these girls love what they do so much that, they can't afford to live off the salary and they have full-time jobs. And I was talking to Darcy Leslie about that. She manages a doggy daycare in Chicago, and she works maybe 50, 60 hours a week at the daycare and gets off work and then comes and practices and plays. I mean, talk about, loving the game. And
that is Jenkins with a run. And yeah, that's Katie before they even, nobody mentioned children or family or anything like that.
Yeah. And she said, I'm lucky because my boss is understanding. I get my boss is understanding, and I get to bring my dog to practice and doggy daycare, so it all works out. But she said, I only do it because I love it, and that's why these events are so nice to cover, because you can just feel the passion seeping out of these players.
Thank you, Katie. And we have a Chicago police officer out on the field for the Force, number 21, Rebecca Thusted, and a Dallas police officer as well out there for the Diamonds. This is not the police officer. Instead, that's Tiffany Hill with a first down run for the Dallas Diamonds. We also have a mother-daughter combo out there as well. Lakeisha Bowman and Shantae Bowman. We can get into that as we get deeper in the game.
Talk about these players paying to play. That's amazing. And I would play with anyone who would pay to play the game of football.
Yeah.
That tells you a lot about these girls' character and what they're willing to do and their excitement for the game.
And Natasha Penn, who wears number 72 for the Dallas Diamonds, a Dallas police officer. Here's Hill. She's found the end zone once. She finds herself getting past the first down marker into the red zone and down to the 10-yard line. Dallas has been in the red zone a couple of times. They've also been through it on long touchdowns, but it seems like every time they get inside the red zone, they can't convert.
This is a great run by Hill. This place seemed bottled up. She's a great athlete. Just stuck her foot in the ground and got through that crack. She got a huge gain. Got to continue to feed her. She keeps giving life to this team. They just got to keep scoring some points. It's going to be tough if they can't turn it over here.
Trailing by 38 points with just under 4 minutes to go before the half. Jenkins with the pressure coming, steps up and lobs it right for the goal line, and it is caught for a touchdown. And the Diamonds have their third touchdown, and it is Satterwhite again with a touchdown grab.
Odessa Jenkins does a great job eluding the rush. Looks down the field and finds Satterwhite for the touchdown.
Second time that those two have hooked up here in the second quarter for a score. They'll try the two-point conversion. Another penalty marker thrown on the near sideline, and Jenkins is railroaded out of bounds at the 5.
Jenkins around the right side, pushed out of bounds by Dolsky. Flag on the play.
Jenkins has thrown a couple of touchdowns in this game. Offsides on the defense, so Jenkins and the Dallas Diamonds will get another opportunity here with 3:36 to go before half. Dallas Diamonds were the 9th seed. They also had a bye like Chicago. Beat Austin 61-7. They defeated St. Louis, and then in the semifinals beat Central California. Franchise founded in 2002, and they have over 100 wins, 4 national titles, 10 division titles, and 5 conference titles. And Jenkins fires it over the middle, and it's Satterwhite for the two-point conversion. So it's back to a 30-point advantage as Dallas refuses to go away, 50-20 here in the second quarter.
The Dallas Diamonds have the capability to get back in this game. They got to fix their things on defense. If the defense can get some stops, they can close this game and get back within striking distance and make this a ball game.
Again, the fewest points this season that Dallas has scored in the semifinals against Central California. Put up 27. They won 27-6. One of their wins was by forfeit over Houston. So they get credit for 1 point, a 1-0 win. I think in baseball you get credit for a 9-0 win, but in the Women's Football Alliance, credited with a 1-0 victory. So now Dallas down 30, needs a few stops. They need a few stops, they need a few turnovers. There's been only 1 turnover, and it was Dallas who gave it away. And the end result was another touchdown by Chicago. We saw 4 touchdowns in the first quarter We have seen 6 touchdowns so far in the second quarter by both teams. A 10-touchdown first half. That is fielded at the 40 and quickly fallen on over there by Marks. So Kim Marks, the defensive tackle, the smart move, making the catch. And the all-conference defensive tackle falls right to the ground. Oh, the way they're moving the football on offense, there's no sense in trying to make any return at all.
No, not at all. They just want to get the ball into the hands of Sammy Grisafi and this powerful offense. Got a ton of talent down the perimeter. It's a wonder to watch.
This is the Women's Football Alliance Silver Sport National Championship game. For the 9th time in the first half, Chicago is on offense. A screen pass, a penalty marker. Jessica Javelay has it. Looking for the end zone, gets a block. Javelay is in, but hold everything. A penalty marker back at the 42-yard line. If it's against Dallas, it'll be declined. It'll be a long 59-yard touchdown pass from Grisafi to Javelay. But from the long discussion, I think this is going against Chicago. Oh, they're going to wave it off. No penalty marker, and it is, in fact, a 59-yard touchdown throw. Grisafi with her 5th touchdown throw of the first half. And it is 56-20.
Another inside screen to Javelay. The offensive linemen do great blocks down the football field, but Javelay basically does the rest. She cuts against the grain all the way across the field, and with her speed, she's tough to catch. She puts the force up 56-20.
Now, is tomorrow the day where everybody goes into the Pro Football Hall of Fame? It's this weekend. Javelay and Grisafi may be in it from what they've done here. That's going to be a 2-point conversion and a penalty marker.
All right, let's go.
That's a false start against Chicago. 5 touchdown throws by Grisafi in the opening half of play. She had 32 in the regular season. Now has 22 in the postseason. 61% passer. We talked about her idolizing Joe Montana. He didn't even have a game like this or a half like this.
Yeah, not even close. Sammy Grisafi's doing a tremendous job today, but her wide receivers are basically doing a lot of run after the catch and getting down the field for yak yardage today.
Quite a lot of yakking going on. John Konecki is calling timeout. He wants to spend one for Chicago to be their first of the half. And it comes with 3 minutes and 21 seconds to go before halftime. They'll give away a mess of awards at halftime. I know Darcy Leslie is going to get one as Defensive Player of the Year in the National Conference. Also on the other sideline, Matthew Russell in his first season leading Dallas to the championship game and an 11-0 mark right now will be honored as the Coach of the Year in the American Conference.
Go to the right wing. JJ, we're going to be ripped. Okay?
You know, at this juncture of the game on the defensive side of the ball, I've played defense, and when you give up this amount of points in the first half, you got to wonder where is their mentality at right now. Are they in it still? They're giving 100%. It's tough when you don't have an answer to offenses for the most part of the game.
Well, they're going to get a stern speaking to and talking to at halftime by their head coach, Matthew Russell. He had such a great year at 11-0. You know, your starting quarterback went down. Odessa Jenkins runs the Wildcats, gets you into the championship game. Your starting quarterback comes back, and then you can't get it done in the championship game, and you give up, at the very least, 56 first half points. Not the way you want to end the season. We're at Balboa Stadium, historic Balboa Stadium, as you peer in on that shot. Who would have thought that, 44 years ago they were playing AFL football here. The Chargers with John Hadel and Lance Allworth and Jack Kemp. Let's go down on the field. Katie Temple.
Guys, they're just looking if you watch Konecny, I'm telling you, he's not happy with his team. He called him over there, he summoned him over, and is just trying to make sure that it's just right. You can see right now how intense he is.
Yeah, well, you know, when you spend a timeout here just to try and run a successful two-point conversion when you're up 56-20, you want blood.
He's dialed in. You should have seen his eyes on the sideline. He's dialed in. He wants this game, this championship, very badly.
4th championship game he's been in the calendar year. Won a gold with Team USA. So they go for 2 here, now backed up at roughly the 9-yard line. And Javelay is going to get in. Let's see. Put her head down right at the goal line. She says she's in. Our officials taking an extra few seconds. And no good. Didn't get in. Got stopped right there at the goal line. And it remains 56-20.
Give it to your best player's hands. Javelay. She got outside to the perimeter, but couldn't quite squeeze it in for the end zone to get across that pylon.
Look from our vantage point that she did in fact get in. But it is 56-20. You know who's going to have to see the trainer after this one is Trisha Charbonneau, the kicker. Her leg is going to be worn out. Another kickoff here for Trisha at the 35-yard line. And another short kick. Landry trying to chase it, and that ball is loose. And another penalty marker. Boy, if the force were to fall on that right there after it went 10 yards, they could have had the football again. Looked like it might have got out of bounds, though.
Great hustle by Taylor Malloy. She almost recovered that football. That would have been a great play by the force and another opportunity to get in the end zone.
Back down to Katie Temple we go. Katie?
Guys, I hear you talking about the fact what happens if there's 100 points on the scoreboard tonight, and I think that if Sammy Grisafi had her way, there would be. After they missed that 2-point conversion, she was pacing on the sidelines yelling, "We'll just have to score 7 more touchdowns. That's fine."
Thanks, Katie. They have scored 8 already here in the first half of play, and the Chicago Force lead it 56-20. So the ball went out of bounds shy of the 35-yard line. So they're going to add an extra 5 yards to where it went out of bounds on the penalty. They're coming after Jenkins, and Jenkins fires it up incomplete. That'll bring up a 2nd down and 10.
Ball falls incomplete. Number 82, Dantuma on the coverage. 2nd and 10.
Yumika Webb was the intended receiver. We've seen her catch a couple of balls in this game. They appear in on the force on their sideline there, and their quarterback. Big smiles for her, Sammy Grisafi, again from Redlands, and right in front of us they've got some folks wearing the Grisafi jerseys, so her family has made the trek down. It's about an 80-mile drive. Jenkins. And that's incomplete again, far sideline, and Webb again the target. 3rd down and 10.
That was great defense by Martha Dantuma, defending her on the comeback. Odessa Jenkins has a good arm, but this defense of the Force doing a great job with these wide receivers.
And that's what Dantuma does best, 6 pass deflections on the season. The Force allowed 60 regular season points in 8 games. They have now allowed 46 in 4 postseason games. You know what we haven't seen much of yet is sacks. They have 4 postseason sacks. Pressure coming. Jenkins was bumped, incomplete. Threw it a little too short, intended here in front of us. And that was Yumi Warner who had it fall right in front of her.
I think Odessa Jenkins felt that pressure coming. She needed to get rid of that football in a hurry. She didn't want to take that hit. I think that affected the trajectory of the football. That could have been a first down easily if she throws it in the right area.
Jenkins is originally from Los Angeles, California. Moved out to Dallas to take a job. Picked up the football. And now she's going to punt it on 4th down and 10. Much better punt than last time, but returnable here by Javelin. Javelin to the outside, and Javelin out of bounds at the 44-yard line. 2:56 to go, second quarter of play. And I think I smell one more touchdown here by the Force. I think you get out of here perhaps with 64 first-half points. And again, there's been only one turnover. It did, in fact, lead to points, and it was the Dallas Diamond who turned it over. The Dallas Diamonds, that is, who turned it over early in this second quarter of play.
Dallas doesn't want to go in at halftime down by 40+.
Javelin on the fly sweep to the 48-yard line, and nothing further there. But that's another 7-yard gain for the Chicago Force. Told you the Force were in the championship game last year in Pittsburgh. They were defeated by the San Diego Surge. You know who owns part of that Pittsburgh franchise that hosted? Franco Harris. How about that?
Wow.
Coming up on 2 minutes to go in the first half of play. Versafi has thrown 5 first-half touchdowns. Penalty marker as she throws it on the wide receiver screen there, and the catch is made by Jeanette Gray. But penalty marker. Let's go back down on the field. Katie Temple joining us. Katie?
Guys, I'm with the founder of this league, Lisa King. And Lisa, I know that we still have a lot of ball to play, but did you expect the score to be this different in the first half?
I knew there'd be a lot of scoring. Chicago has a great offense. They score a lot of points, so this is actually their average. So I'm not that surprised, actually. They have a great offense, and Dallas has a great offense as well. So both teams have great offenses, and we're going to get a lot of scoring before this game is ended.
We might be here forever.
We could be here for a long time. If you want to come see some good, a lot of touchdowns, this is the game to see.
You could still get in your car and come down. One more question. Who or what have you been the most impressed with?
I've just been the most impressed with how solid Chicago is. They're organized, they're quick, they're quick up to the line, their plays are executed well. I mean, they really playing a perfect game right now.
I'll be curious to see if they can hang on the second half.
I think they'll do all right.
I don't think we'd be surprised. Thanks, Lisa. Steve, Ralph, let's send it back to you.
Thank you very much, Katie. Penalty was declined by the Dallas Diamonds. And then a pass was incomplete there. Versafi trying another long throw to Javelin. So it's incomplete. Second down and 10. Under 2 to go here in the second quarter. They'll keep it on the ground, and there is Scholes, and Scholes up the middle, and Scholes with a first down to the Dallas 26. They may get one more, and if they do, they're going to get right at their average before even attempting the extra point or attempting a 2-point conversion, which is what they'll likely do. And if they score, we'll have a 9th Chicago Force first-half touchdown. Scholes again with a run. And Scholes to the 20-yard line, bringing up a second down and short.
Chicago Force offensive line continues to get up to the second level and get blocks on those linebackers, which makes it easy for these running backs to gain big yardage down the field.
They have a lot of veterans in there, like Tammy Egelman, number 91, blocking on the left side right now. She's the left side guard. Tries to trap there. Traps enough for Choles to run for the end zone. Touchdown. They're right at their average with 51 seconds to go before halftime. 62-20.
There were a lot of missed tackles on this play. You got to wonder where the Dallas Diamonds defense is right now with the physicality of the Chicago Force.
That is the 8th combined touchdown here in the second quarter of play. Charbonneau going to get a chance to add the extra point. Again, the Force averaged 61.9 points per game. They're at 62 right now. And they're going to try for 63 and 64, and it is incomplete. About 2 feet deep in the end zone down there, and it's a 62-20 ball game.
Somebody definitely has to step up on this Dallas Diamonds defense to come together.
And those folks in front of us getting more exercise here. The Chicago Force fans. 51.2 to go here from Balboa Stadium. Now the lights starting to take full effect here. Started this game a little past 6 o'clock, so we're almost approaching a 2-hour first half of play. So settle in, still a long way to go here in this 2013 Women's Football Alliance Silver Sport National Championship game. League came into existence as the WFA back in 2009. Charbonneau with a blast. And that is going to be downed inside the 15-yard line. So a long field for Dallas as they get the football back with under a minute to go. Dallas has scored 3 times here in the game, 3 touchdowns, but 9 touchdowns in the first half by Chicago. And Sammy Grisafi with 5 first half touchdown passes has been the story. And Javelin has been outstanding too. She's found the end zone 3 times too. On the receiving end of 3 of those 5 touchdown passes by Grisafi. So long field for Dallas on a first down and 10 at the 15-yard line. Jenkins again at quarterback, hands it off to Tiffany Hill, and she gets dropped for a loss. That was a nice play right there by Albie Zuby, who came in, making the stop for a loss.
A lot of disguising and confidence on the Chicago defense. Albie Zuby with the stop. Now you can kind of pin your ears back if you're a defensive coordinator, because you know that the Dallas Diamonds have to pass the ball.
Well, Dallas is going to make the most of their first half experience by calling their 3rd and final timeout here of the first half, stopping the clock with 28.1 to go in a 62-20 ball game. Well, we talked about them having to make some stops, which they couldn't, and on offense having to make some first downs. And I thought on that very first drive, they got a number of first downs. They got the ball 1st and goal at the 9. They're inside the red zone, and then shot themselves in the foot with penalties. And again, you look up, you see 62 points, and you think a mess of turnovers, but we've only seen 2 turnovers so far in the game. A fumble by Dallas and a thrown interception by Jenkins. Both here in the second quarter of play. After the timeout, here's Jenkins. Another penalty marker. Jenkins rolling right, throwing just before she goes out of bounds and gets picked for the 2nd time. 3rd Dallas turnover here. We'll see whether or not it holds up with the penalty marker.
Jenkins scrambles around the right. He's one up.
And that's a penalty against the Chicago Force. came before the snap. So wipe out the interception. Give Dallas 5 yards. They're looking at a second down at about 8 now.
Offsides on the defense is going to negate the interception. 2nd and 8 for the Diamonds.
Keep it going, defense! Let's go! Get in there, baby, let's go! I want to see something now! I want to see something now!
Perhaps time for a couple more plays here for Dallas before half. Jenkins trying to elude the pressure, running to the near sideline, and down she goes. They finally catch up to her at the 10-yard line. And Jenkins gets stopped for a loss. Again, 14 sacks in the postseason for the Chicago Force. And they pick up another one right here. And the Force are going to call timeout. They want to try and get the ball back and score 6 more points.
Keep the pressure on. Coach Konecki is going for the jugular in this championship game, as he should. He's been through some tough losses in this championship game, and he would like to win this for his team himself and taste victory tonight.
It looks like they're going to reset the clock as well. That the timeout was called well before there was 9 seconds. I think they might put 4 more seconds back on the scoreboard. We'll see. That timeout being called on a 3rd down play here. Chicago will have 1 more in which to spend, so they can spend yet another one and try and get the ball back. They're going to put 2.3 seconds back on the board to 11.3. Third down and 12 coming. Low snap. Jenkins to throw, and the catch is made. And up to the 14-yard line. And let's see, will that be the final play? Chicago might have called 1 more timeout. And they are, in fact, going to call 1 more timeout with a 42-point lead in the first half of play. You got to be kidding me. 2.5 to go. That's 2.5 seconds, and Chicago uses all their timeouts here in the first half.
WFA award winners.
And they'll put a few more seconds back on, 4.5, and they're going to force the Dallas Diamonds to punt the football. Again, a lot of halftime festivities coming up here. They're going to give out a mess of awards at halftime. And Sammy Grisafi is going to get one, the National Conference Offensive Player of the Year. Darcy Leslie gets one, National Conference Defensive Player of the Year. Odessa Jenkins gets one as the American Conference MVP. And Matthew Russell gets one, Coach of the Year for Dallas. And Chicago Force owner Linda Bechet also gets one as Owner of the Year. So it'll be a fun little halftime. We'll turn it over to Katie Temple here shortly. So with 4.5 to go and both teams out of timeouts, Jenkins will either punt it, or I would think she'll probably run around and try and kill as much of that 4.5 seconds as she can.
I think the best advice is to keep it out of Javalet's hands.
We've got a timeout by the official, our back judge. They started the clock a little prematurely, now put it back to 4.5. Jenkins running around, trying to kill the final seconds, and she will, and that is the end of the first half of play. But what a first half of play it was for the Chicago Force. They score on all but one drive, 9 touchdowns in 10 possessions. And Sammy Grisafi with 5 touchdown passes. And it is 62-20, the Chicago Force with a lead, right at their scoring average for the season as we reach halftime here of the 2013 Silver Sport Women's Football Alliance National Championship game from Balboa Stadium in San Diego. Your impressions of this first half right here, Ralph Brown.
Well, I think the Force showed up. They came dialed in. They're at their average of offensive scoring points, but I don't see any signs that they'll be stopped in the second half. This Dallas Diamonds teams need to regroup at halftime and try to put some points on the board so they can get back in this game.
Down to Katie Temple, standing by with a very happy John Konecki, the head coach of the Force. Katie?
If he's happy, he's not showing it on the outside. Coach, you told me as Sammy goes, the team goes. What can you say about her play so far this game?
Amazing. I mean, Sammy's play's been amazing. Defense play's been amazing. The offense play's been amazing. Special teams play's been amazing. We need to finish this game, though. We're not done playing football yet.
So what do you tell your team at halftime?
The game's not over, and we're going to play all the way to the end. And whatever the end score is the end score.
Thanks, Coach. Steve, Ralph, if there's any question about his intensity, I hope that that just got thrown away right now.
Yeah, no, I think we saw that there at the end of the first half, calling those 2 timeouts with under 20 seconds to go, including one with 4.5 to go. And his team scoring 9 touchdowns in that first half. Still not satisfied. They're right at their average, their scoring average for the season, 62-20.
Welcome back, and joining me is Megan Smith-Harris, who is the executive producer of the Women's Tackle Football documentary. Megan, tell us about it. I understand it has a little international flavor.
It sure does. It's called Tackle Girls, One Team, One Mission, and we follow Team USA, which was comprised of all the best players from across the country. They met in Chicago. We followed them from training camp over to Finland, where they competed internationally against Germany, Spain, Finland, Sweden, and Canada, and Team USA won the gold.
All right, and we have a little sneak peek for you. Take a look.
I expect.
We are back at historic Balboa Stadium in San Diego, California. The 2013 Silver Sport WFA National Championship game. The Chicago Force, with 9 first-half touchdowns, lead Dallas 62-20, still with 2 quarters of play left. Steve Quist alongside 10-year NFL veteran Ralph Brown. Katie Temple is the third member of our team working the sidelines. And what a first half so far for the Chicago Force. Over 500 yards of total offense in those 9 touchdowns. And for their starting quarterback, Sammy Grisafi, 18 of 20, 6 touchdowns, 442 yards passing in that first half. I mean, she was just unbelievable.
I mean, what an effort by Sammy Grisafi. This offense, I mean, they were dialed in from the first snap, stayed in a rhythm. And she's a warrior. She has a great arm, hits her receivers in stride, a lot of continuity on the offensive line. They get a lot of surge up front, and they get up to the second level for these running backs that have good gains to get in the open field.
Oh, yeah, by the way, she also ran for a touchdown of 21 yards. And you take a look at Jessica Javelet there. 3 scores in the first half for her. 7 catches, 166 yards in this game. Chicago's also run for over 100 yards. Meantime, Dallas 259 yards of total offense and a bunch of miscues in the game as well. They have turned it over a couple of times, leading to points, an interception, and a turnover. And what do you know? Chicago is going to get the football to start this third quarter of play. And a quick catch made at the 38-yard line. Falling on it right there, Kim Marks. That is the second time she has made a grab on a kickoff, and both times has hit the turf.
You got to wonder what head coach Matthew Russell said to his team at halftime, being down by this deficit. Also, defensive coordinator Tannell Wilson, what's the answer to the Chicago Force offense?
Yeah, I'm not sure there is an answer. They average 62 points a game, and they're right there at their average here through 30 minutes. Football kept on the ground. They'll start running it to open this third quarter of play, and Scholes, part of a 175-yard rushing attack for 3 touchdowns to the Force in that first half. She also had a couple of touchdowns in the game. 2nd down and 6 now. A lot of the fans still hanging around here for the second half of this championship game. Force lost in the title game to the San Diego Surge in Pittsburgh at Heinz Field last year. Trying to win that title here this year. Opening minute of the third quarter of play. Grisafi avoiding the pressure. And she'll get popped at the 43-yard line. Down she goes after a gain of about a yard. 3rd and 7 coming up.
That was a coverage sack by Dallas Diamonds. Grisafi didn't have anyone to throw to, so she had to tuck the ball. But the defensive line made a great surge following them, getting this tackle, not allowing them to get a play up the field.
Yeah, well, the good thing about having a 25-minute halftime is the fact that you can get some extra time to work in those adjustments. A 42-point lead here for Chicago, and they're throwing again. And this is Jeanette Gray, and Gray has enough, it would appear, for a first down. And might not have got as good a spot as we thought. They only give her about the 48.5-yard line there, so still a yard to go on a 3rd down and short play. Dallas ran for 101 yards, threw for 158 in that first half. You need more than that to get back in this football game. Grisafi with 6 touchdown passes, 1 rushing as well. And that is Scholes, and Scholes awfully close to the first down. I'm not sure she got it. And if she didn't, that would be just the 2nd time in this game, Ralph, that Dallas has actually held on downs.
Yeah, that's a huge stop if they did, and I think they do. This is turnover on downs. Give credit to the defensive line. They held up against that big, strong Chicago Force offensive line. This is huge to start this half with a stop on 4th down. See if they can get this offense going.
They're short, and for just the 2nd time, a drive stalls for Chicago.
they got some good penetration in the backfield to disrupt that play to prevent them from getting the first down.
So they'll send that back out Odessa Jenkins. Starting quarterback gave way a little bit to Brittany Bushman. And this is a run. Brittany Satterwhite. She found the end zone twice in the first half of play, running for the first down, being chased from behind, spins, still on her feet. But great second and third efforts and gets inside the red zone and down to the 19-yard line.
This was just supposed to be a jet sweep to the outside. Satterwhite noticed that it was bottled up, reverses field, then gets to the outside, uses the speed to get down the field. A few blocks were missed by the Chicago Force, but what a great way to start this second half on offense.
Pickup of 40 yards there. And it's first down and goal at the 18-yard line of the Force. Force gave up touchdowns in the first quarter and 2 more in the second quarter to the Diamonds. And there were two of them at least were pretty long. Jenkins lost it, and it's down on the ground as Hill covers it up. We've seen that happen twice. Matter of fact, they weren't so fortunate the first time it happened. They gave it away for a turnover in the first half.
Yeah, that's been the tale of the first half. Miscues and turnovers, and that could have been costly there as well.
So instead of a second down and 10, if they get back to the original line of scrimmage, you're looking at more like a second down and 20 now. They can still get a first down at the 8-yard line. They'll run it. Here's Hill, and Hill is brought down after a gain of about 3 yards. It is awfully tough to navigate the middle of that defensive line with Angel Smith, Kim Marks, Keisha Brooks, and Debbie Sanchez. Dallas had to feel real fortunate to rush for 101 yards in that first half on 21 carries. Third and long now. Almost 4 minutes has gone by here in the third quarter of play. Chicago with 9 first half touchdowns. And again, a low snap. Jenkins going to have to cover up yet again, and they lose more yardage. Looking at 4th and forever now.
Yeah, what can you say? They start the first half off with a nice stop on 4th down. And then the first play is a big yardage run by Satterwhite. The miscues, the mistakes continue, put themselves in a bad situation after a scoring opportunity.
Yep. Saw it a lot in the first half, revisiting it right here. That almost went for a pick 6 by Bridges. It really wasn't the miscues that led to the 62 points. Only 2 touchdowns were scored off of turnovers. And Jenkins going to punt it away on 4th down and long. That's going to bounce at the 21-yard line and be down at the 22-yard line. And that's where Chicago will take over for the second time in the third quarter on offense. And let's go down to Katie Temple. Katie?
Guys, a little extra pressure on Odessa Jenkins tonight. Not only that she needs to march her team back from this big deficit, but again, another girl that's local. She actually grew up in LA and has a lot of friends and family here, including all the guys that taught her the game that she loves so much.
Katie, thank you very much.
Family, friends, frenemies, everybody. People from my hometown, my closest cousin and my brother, the guys that I grew up that taught me this game are going to all be at this game. So
extra excited.
Super excited, sending my stats around to everybody in his office. I mean, it's crazy. My brother's walking around with a picture in his pocket.
Grisafi's pass was incomplete to Jeanette Gray. And it's going to bring up a second down and 10.
But Keisha Bowman did a great job getting in the backfield, disrupting that play and putting pressure on Sammy Grisafi. It's altered the throw. She couldn't get it to Gray for the reception.
Glad you brought up that name because Lakeisha wears number 56. There's a Lakeisha and a Shantae Bowman on the team. When I was down there earlier, I said, oh, a couple of sisters playing. No, it's a mother-daughter combo with Lakeisha being the mom. Here's a throw out of the backfield, and they finally corral Javelay there. And she can't even get back to the original line of scrimmage, a loss of a couple of yards.
It's a different team on defense. A lot more fervor, energy from the defense. They're doing their job, and they're dialed in right now.
Sense of urgency right now for Dallas. Perhaps going to make back-to-back stops here to open the third quarter against the Force, and they could only make one stop in that first quarter, or that first half rather, and it came on the 6th offensive possession of the game for Chicago. 3rd and 13, the first down make is up at the 32. Over the middle, Grisafe, and she finds Gray for the first down catch. It's just too easy. They needed 13 yards. They wound up getting more like 23 for another Chicago first down.
This is a great offensive play call. It was a nice little rub route, noticing that nobody's in the center of the field. Gray was on the outside. She run a nice little slant to the inside of Sam Grisafe. Just hit her in stride.
First down and 10 now at the 44-yard line of the Force. And Grisafe, a quick little throw again on the flanker screen to Gray. And Gray approaching a half dozen catches here in the football game. And another one for a first down, or at least close to it. Looks like she's going to be short by about a foot. Second down and a foot. Well, just when Dallas thought they had him stopped, huh, Ralph? Force make a play.
This offense is very complicated, very sophisticated as well. You got a lot of weapons on the outside.
Second and less than a yard. They'll keep it on the ground. Why not? Scholes, they've had a lot of success up the middle, and it's a first down run. Just a 2-yard pickup. They're into Dallas territory now at the 44-yard line. Scholes did most of the heavy lifting there in that first half. Leading rusher for the Chicago Force.
Keep being an athlete, Mary. Keep being an athlete.
Scholes had 91 yards and 2 touchdowns in that first half of play for Chicago.
It was a first down.
Grisafe rolls left and another shovel pass. Second time she's broken that out. Goes to Gray, but it fools absolutely nobody. And that is Kalana Spiller. They call her Tata. And Tata all over Gray there.
Tata Spiller's a great athlete. She has a lot of volume on a defensive line, but she's athletic as well. She showed it, that stop in the backfield. They're going to need more of that to get this game closer.
Second and 12. First down make is the 34 of Dallas. Pressure coming, blitz picked up, and a catch made there. And that is Ashley Berggren, and she got pulled down by Landry. Nearly a horse collar at the 5-yard line, and that prevents another Chicago touchdown, which would have been their 10th of the ball game.
They just went with the fake screen to the outside, and Berggren just went up the inside. She's a bigger body. The defensive back couldn't stay with her. Easy target for Grisafe to hit Berggren down the football field.
Grisafe moving left. She's going to keep herself and will get tripped up at the 4-yard line.
Grisafe on the keeper around the left side. Tripped up by number 52, Grayson. Going to bring up second and goal.
Angelica Grayson making a touchdown-saving tackle, but perhaps in this game postponing the inevitable right here. Clock will run coming up on 6:30 to go in the third quarter of play. 42-point advantage here for the Chicago Force. They'll tuck it in the belly of Scholes, and she runs across the goal line for her 3rd touchdown of the ball game. And the 10th for the Force, and they lead it 68-20.
The Chicago Force's offensive line is the key to this game. They're very strong. They work well together, but they get a great surge. They've been doing that the whole night, making it easy for these wide receivers and running backs to get big yardage.
Charbonneau will try the extra point attempt. And a high snap. Charbonneau picks it up, falls on it. And it is 68-20, a 48-point advantage for Chicago. As we look at the third touchdown run of the ball game by Mary Scholes. She had 9 during the regular season, a third of her touchdown total scored right here through 2.5 quarters of the 2013 Silver Sport WFA National Championship game.
Coach Konecki's offense has a counter to everything that they do, so it's so hard as a defensive coordinator to game plan against them. You can't try to defend too much of one thing on this offense, so they have a counter to it that'll beat you in a different area.
So Charbonneau tees it up at the 35-yard line. Scholes might kind of have the night that Whitney Zealy had of the Boston Militia earlier this year, rushing for 236 yards to set the Women's Football Alliance single game record this year. That's returnable, far sideline and out of bounds over there. And that return there is by Janice Mitchell. She was all conference as a strong safety. And so not bad starting field position for Dallas as they're going to begin inside Chicago territory here, trailing 68-20. And there are no 48-point plays here in any level. See one of the coaches barking at Charbonneau, the kicker, as well. Might have been the head coach. Is that Konecki?
Yeah, he's dialed in.
And his kicker saved a touchdown return earlier in the ballgame. He thought she might get a little bit of a break. Not the case. Jenkins back in. We haven't seen Bushman since the opening 2 series of the ballgame. And Jenkins scampers far sideline for a Dallas first down. That's a gain of roughly 15 yards for Dallas.
If Dallas wants to get back in the game, they're going to need more of that from Odessa Jenkins and some others like Hill and Satterwhite to try to get some big yardage and get into this end zone.
Hill has been in the end zone once on a long touchdown run, which made it 21-6. Satterwhite on a long touchdown throw from Jenkins, which made it 36-12, and then Jenkins and Satterwhite connected a second time, but then well out of reach at 50-20. And here's Jenkins. And Jenkins to the 26-yard line, a gain of about 4. Bringing up a second down and 6. Coming up on 5.5 to go here in the third quarter, and the clock moving much more quickly here in the second half than in that first half. Chicago had the football 10 times in that first half and scored 9 times. Second and 7 officially. Now Dallas content to grind out some clock here. Most points scored this year by the Force, 84 in a playoff game against Atlanta. Jenkins running, she's got to tuck that football away, and Jenkins is grabbed and is brought down. It's like big number 73, Arteria Ziegler grabbed her from behind.
You know, when the clock starts moving at this rate, when you're behind, you have 2 enemies, the Chicago Force and the clock. This Dallas Diamonds team tries to get back into this game.
I remember what John Konecki said earlier, is that they're inspired by those 85 Bears, although I'm sure only a handful of them were born back then in 85. He certainly remembers it. Third and roughly 6. Got to get past the 19-yard line. There's some motion. And here's Hill. Hill had a nice first half running the football, but there It's only about a yard to bring up a 4th down and 5, and they'll most likely go for it, will Dallas. Under 4 now to go in the 3rd quarter.
Not too many cracks on the Chicago Force defense. You make one person miss, the pursuit's coming so fast, it's hard to make someone else miss. They're rallying to the football, not giving this Dallas Diamonds offense too much room.
Dallas Diamonds had 259 yards of total offense in that first half to 502 for Chicago. Jenkins with a keeper. Hurdles one and gets right to the first down marker. Looks like the spot is going to be the 18. And that'll be enough for a first down by Dallas. And they can chew up some more of the clock here and keep the drive going. Let's go down to the field. Katie Temple. Katie?
Guys, just listening to Konecny yell as we speak. Again, they're up 68-20. And after Choles punched it in for that touchdown, the ensuing kickoff, he was yelling because it didn't go deep enough. I spoke with him coming out of halftime, and he just looked at me with those dead eyes and said, "We're on a mission."
And that mission might be to drop 100 here in this game, but they're running out of time. We've got about 18 minutes of football to go here in this 2013 Silver Sport National Championship title game. Jenkins going to run the option and pitch. And Hill has it. Hill to the outside. Hill got popped. There's a penalty marker as she gets to the 15-yard line, a gain of about 4. But we'll wait here to see what the penalty is.
21 Hill on the pitch.
There's a lot of flags in that first half, and now it looks like the referee's doing a better job keeping it in their pocket here.
33 Smith on the tackle.
Might have been a block in the back from the wide receiver. I think right there.
Yep. An infraction against Alberta Bridson. And that will be costly.
It's tough in that situation as a wide receiver. When you lose your block, you still want to block the intended target to help your teammate spring to get a few more yards.
When you were playing in the NFL, anybody infamous for what Bridson just did? Or Bridson?
I think we've all made some mistakes in the heat of the moment, trying to just do our job. And Bryson just did it right there.
Cost him 10 yards. The first down now is back at the 26-yard line. Jenkins, pressure coming from the edge, and dumps it off to Satterwhite, but it's incomplete. Pressure was coming hard from the outside, and that was Angel Smith, who has 3 postseason sacks to go along with 5 in the regular season. She got a nice motor there. Angel Smith been all around Jenkins all ball game.
Yeah, she's been pressuring her all night. And Odessa Jenkins had to step up in the pocket, but Angel Smith did a great job. Odessa Jenkins had to dump this off quickly to Satterwhite, who could have possibly caught it and got some yards up the field as well.
Instead, 2nd and 20. And another miscue. That is at least the 5th time that has happened. Hill falls on it to cover up.
Hill's able to get on this one, but loses a couple more yards.
Just kills the rhythm of your offense, does it not?
It's like a turnover, not a turnover, but actually a penalty. Backs your team up, you lose yardage, and you also lose rhythm. This Dallas Diamonds need a little rhythm, especially at this juncture of the game.
3rd and roughly 23. The first down make is the 9-yard line, and that would set up a 1st and goal if they can get there. Coming up on 2 to go in the 3rd quarter of play. Chicago Force trying to get to 12-0. The Dallas Diamonds trying to avoid 11-1. And Jenkins on 3rd and long. And Jenkins still scampering. Might have a chance to get to the first down, and it looked like she got it at the 8-yard line before finally getting chased out of bounds. It's a 24-yard run right there for a first down for Jenkins.
Gotta love Odessa Jenkins. She's a great athlete. When you think you've got her stopped, she's so exceptional. She can make you miss and turn a gain or a stop into a long yardage play.
She averaged close to 10 yards a carry rushing during the regular season. 41 carries for 401 yards. First and goal now from the 8. And there's a handoff and nothing there. Now, they tried that earlier in the ball game. And it's Rachel May. That's her 3rd carry of the ball game, and really there's been nothing there for Rachel May throughout the game. Matter of fact, she runs right into her number contemporary there, Tammy Engelman.
Tammy Engelman got great penetration on that play. She's a load, and she just got stymied in the hole by her. Great play by Engelman.
Engelman looks a little bit like Jamal Williams when he was here playing for the San Diego Chargers. Second and goal from back at the 10, a loss of a yard. As May, who still lines up in the backfield there, could not get a yard. He'll try it again now. Another power run to the right. Looks like the run there was made up the middle. Let's see. And that's Amari Hollis who makes the carry. 3rd goal from the 9. It might be the final play of the 3rd quarter here. See if they can get one more off. Coming up on 5 seconds to go in the quarter. I think they'll be content to let it run down. See if Jenkins tries to sneak off a snap, and she will. And she's throwing for the end zone, and it is caught for a touchdown. Puts it right on the money to Yomiki Webb, and Webb has a touchdown grab.
Great play selection. They've been running the inside run in the red zone continuously. Now they just run a play fake and sneak Rachel Travis out of the backfield for the touchdown. Excuse me, Yomiki Webb for the touchdown.
Jenkins with her 3rd touchdown throw of this football game. And that was on the final play of the 3rd quarter. So after a wild 2nd quarter in which we saw a combined 8 touchdowns in the game, this 3rd quarter is going to come to a conclusion with both sides scoring a touchdown and basically treading water here. Looks like we're going to have a timeout called by Dallas. They'll spend their first of the second half as they try and figure out what kind of 2-point conversion they wanted to run there. And Matthew Russell, the coach of the year in his conference, will bring his team onto the field or over toward the sideline here to discuss. Let's go down on the field. Katie Temple. Katie?
Steve, I'm here with the founder of this league, Jeff King. And Jeff, give me your analysis so far.
Well, Dallas is fighting, but I don't think there's no stopping Chicago. So I think it's been a great game, and Chicago lost the game last year in the 4th quarter, and I think they worked hard so it doesn't happen again this year. So.
Yeah, Coach told me right coming back that they're on a mission.
Yeah, they've been on a mission all year. So you have to commend Dallas for fighting, but I think they just ran into the steamroller, you know. So, but I think it's still good for women's football, and you know, some other teams in our league can take a lesson from Chicago.
As a founder of this league, and it continues to evolve, what do you hope for? What are your expectations?
Well, I would love to see the women get a little bit more recognition. You know, maybe get be able to go play in Europe and coach women's teams in Europe and receive a little bit of pay. And, you know, hopefully Lisa and myself can be a part of, you know, advancing the women's level to that. You know.
Thanks, Jeff.
Okay, appreciate it. Thank you.
Steve, Ralph, back to you.
Thank you very much, Katie. There was early movement on the 2-point conversion here, so we'll try it again after the penalty marker. Yeah, Jeff and his wife, Lisa, founded the league back in 2009 to give all players an affordable opportunity to play. 32 teams to start, and by year number 3, they had as many as 63 teams, making it the largest ever women's league in the world. Jenkins, 2-point conversion, threw it high, and it's incomplete. There'll be pass interference. They'll get another chance. Pass interference against Dorian Bridges, who had a pick and a nice return earlier in this one.
And I'm not too sure that Odessa Jenkins could have not kept this ball and tried to hit the pylon herself. But I think she wanted to get the ball to a receiver for the touchdown.
Well, they'll get yet another opportunity. We've been stuck here on this 2-point conversion for a while. After the timeout, a couple of penalties. Here's the second penalty on this 2-point conversion. So now the ball is at the 1-foot line. Again, this will be the final moments of the third quarter of this championship game. Jenkins with a low snap, keeps and runs in for 2. And she's in. And add 2 more points. And it is 68-28, a 40-point advantage here for Chicago. And that's where it will be when we start the fourth quarter of play here at Balboa Stadium. And you can see the players dressed in black for the Chicago Force holding up that 4, ready to bring home a championship.
Just 15 minutes away.
They were the 4th seed, certainly not playing like the 4th seed. But rolling through Cleveland, Atlanta, Boston, and now it would appear Dallas en route to the 2013 championship after losing a heartbreaker last year to San Diego, 40-36 at Heinz Field in Pittsburgh.
And that taste is probably in most of these girls' mouths from last year. They remember that feeling. It's a horrible feeling to lose in a championship game, and they would like to win it tonight because of that.
They've now scored 50 or more points in 10, making 11 of the 12 games that they've played. Getting ready for the start of the fourth quarter, 2013 Silver Sport Women's Football Alliance National Championship game. Steve Bliss alongside the 10-year NFL veteran Ralph Brown. He played collegiately at Nebraska, played for the Arizona Cardinals, and Katie Temple down on the sidelines. You know, you played 3 teams, right, in the NFL?
Actually 4.
Oh, 4.
New York Giants.
Oh, that's right.
As well.
Did you play on the Vikings, too?
Yes.
They try the onside kick, and it's covered up by the Chicago Force. Well, the Force are going to have it close to midfield, back in their own territory at roughly the 46-yard line.
You got to wonder at what point does Coach Konecki start running the football, try to eat some clock up, or does he still stay in form, keep chunking the ball around?
1 touchdown by each side in the third quarter. And they start to go to the ground game right here for a short little gain. And that is Mary Coles again.
Rambo personnel! Rambo personnel!
Shoals on the carry. Short gain. 52 Grayson and 59.
Chicago led 62-20 at half. We started to talk about the Football Alliance and how they had 63 teams in year number 3. This year they started with 50. They were hoping to have about 60 teams. And they're passing again, and that is broken up, but nearly grabbed there by Berggren, and she almost had a touchdown.
Once again, great pass by Sammy Graffi. Berggren wished she could have that back. Just slipped through her hand, thinks she saw the end zone before tucking that ball in.
Janice Mitchell was defending on the play. She was all conference at strong safety, and read a little bio on her. She started playing football in Texas for a women's team, and she was playing on a team that got beat by the Diamonds every year and said that sucked. So if you can't beat them, join them. Here she is in a title game. Pressure coming. They set up the screen, and we haven't seen Javelin much here in the second half. She makes the catch and then gets wrestled down by Landry. Nice tackle. Not much of a gain there, if any, by the Chicago Force. Is that how you used to do it out of your quarterback spot?
You got to be dialed in, and once you grab cloth, don't let go. And this is what Landry does here. Wait till your teammates get in on the play for the tackle, and she just flung Javelette down. A little bit out of frustration as well, it seemed.
Like that jersey manufacturer, though. I mean, that didn't give way at all. So 13 and a half to go in the football game. And what do you know? They do have a punter, the Force. And it's Trisha Charbonneau. This will be her first punt of the evening.
Get it out. Cover it. Cover it.
Ball is muffed at the 27-yard line and then covered up.
Let's go.
And Dallas has it. First down and 10 back of their own territory. Janice Mitchell muffed it, then recovered. So the Diamonds have it. Well, if anything, they can win the second half of the football game here. Find some better defense, getting some stops. Each team with a touchdown in that third quarter of play, after we had 12 total touchdowns in the first half of play. 8 second quarter touchdowns by both sides. Versafi has thrown for 5. She's run for 1. The Force with 502 yards of total offense in the first half. Here's Satterwhite. Satterwhite going left. Satterwhite cuts it up and is out of bounds far sideline after a gain of 5.
Handoff to number 5, Satterwhite around left side. Picks up 4 or 5 yards. Gonna bring up second down.
The Chicago Force defense is not bending too much. Got some speed in the back end and on the second level, but that defensive line, they control the line of scrimmage, have done it the whole game.
Impressed by what I've seen out of the Force today. In a moment here, I want to share with you some of the team names this year in the Women's Football Alliance, some of them quite creative. Again, they started the year with 50 teams. The playoffs had 27. These are the 2 left. A reverse coming to the near sideline, and it seems to have worked. And a big gain there to the 45-yard line into Force territory. Alberta Brideson. She had 124 yards rushing, and you can see an open space why she's one of the top punt returners in the American Conference.
Yeah, a little misdirection to try to get the speedy defense flowing one way, to reverse to give it to Brideson. She does the rest, but they had a good blocks down the field. Brideson had some good speed. Ended up gaining a good chunk yardage for the offense.
40-point advantage for Chicago here in the fourth quarter. Dallas trying to make it respectable. Most points that Dallas had given up prior this year was 20 in a second-round playoff game to the St. Louis Slam. Motion. And being tied up is Jenkins, and she's going to be sacked. Doesn't go down, but they blow the play dead. And a loss of 5 yards from where the officials blow it dead.
And that was Angel Smith on the defensive line. She just squeezed through, got in the backfield in a hurry to stop Odessa Jenkins from running his play.
Angel Smith has had at least 3 tackles for losses so far in this game. 39 tackles this season, and 20 of them during the regular season were for a loss, and that led the Force. 8 total sacks, including 3 in the postseason. 2nd and 5. And Jenkins has nowhere to go. Wrapped up and brought down. Albie Zuby was in on the stop there. Looked like Angel Smith was as well.
There was a host of players on the defensive side of the ball that got in the backfield on that play to stop Odessa Jenkins. You got to wonder if that was a missed assignment or if they're trying to run a screen.
Yeah, Smith was forcing the pressure from the outside, forced it back. And the stop made by Zobe, and also someone who was recognized here at halftime as the National Conference Defensive Player of the Year, Darcy Leslie. We've seen Leslie also run a touchdown into the first half. There's Dolsky. And a penalty marker, and 2 more to follow. as we have our first pushing and shoving of the contest.
Like a false start on the plan. We got lots of laundry after that. But the officials clear it up.
You know, we had mentioned the name Dolsky, but she too an attorney in the Chicago area. And our official is Gary Bram. He'll sort this out with his crew. They've been really busy throughout this ball game. 10:02 to go in the fourth.
With the various jobs that all these girls have, it shows you that people love football from all walks of life and all different types of jobs, from attorneys to cops to dog owners, to people that own dog companies.
Yep.
And I think it says a lot about these girls from where they come from to play the game of football.
Have a school teacher here in the Chicago Public Schools, Rosalind Bennett, who plays offensive line for the Chicago Force. A Dallas police officer, a Chicago police officer, an engineer from Nokia, came over from Finland.
False start by the offense. Personal foul on the defense.
We had a false start on the offense, personal foul on the defense.
Dolsky.
Officials still trying to work it out, figure out what real estate they're going to put this football down on. Right now it's resting at the 37-yard line. Here's some of those names I was talking to you about here. Team names this year in the Women's Football Alliance: the Militia, the Seahawks, the Sharks, Passion, Divas, Fusion, Sizzle, Dynamite. They're going Jimmy Walker on us, huh? Tulane, Mayhem, Dark Angels, Jewels, Dixie Blues, Showgirls, Shockwave, War Angels, and of course the Force and Diamonds. Personal fouls both sides. They're going to offset. And so through all that, the only thing that counts is the 5-yard false start penalty.
Offense offsetting. Third down.
Got to get the math right.
3rd and 19. They start that clock under 10 to go here in the fourth. Jenkins lost it again, and Jenkins recovers. That has to be the 6th or 7th time we've seen that. We do have an injured Force player on the field. We haven't seen too many go down here tonight, especially with cramping, because it's such a cool evening. We're in the mid-60s, very uncharacteristic for this time of the year in San Diego. Although we're not too far here from the Bay, and it tends to be a little cooler downtown. I hope that's nothing serious, but it looks like maybe a broken digit. And that's Angel Smith who has to leave. She's having a great game. And it looks like she has an injury to one of her fingers.
Yeah, she's a great athlete. She was an integral piece this whole season to this team getting to this point.
Fergie, just play up in the two. Play up in the two. Marks, go to the other side. Marks, play in 9.
4th down. Jenkins will go for it. Again, we haven't seen the other quarterback, Brittany Bushman, since the 2nd series of the ball game. And Jenkins takes a step back and then punts it, by far her best punt of the day, as it rolls dead at the 18-yard line. And that's where Chicago takes over, looking for their first points of the fourth quarter.
First down, Force.
In their season high this year, 84 in the postseason, 82 during the regular season. The fewest amount of points that they have scored would have been in their last game. The Boston Militia held them to 46 points, and that's part of the reason for that is Whitney Zeeley, who can, run and get you first downs and keep the football away from their tremendous quarterback, Sammy Grisafi. Coming up on 9 to go in the football game. Chicago's going to have a championship here shortly. Grisafi to throw quickly. Picking it from just off the top of the turf and then getting hammered is Jessica Javelay. And there's going to be a penalty on that clothesline right there. Oh, Javelay went down hard.
She was tackled by Landry, who just came up with the ferocious hit, and that shows you the power of her upper body strength. A little bit of anger in that tackle. Caught the face mask a little, but that still was a big hit by Landry.
That's going to cost her 15 yards. Landry with the clothesline, getting too much of the face mask there, taking down Javelay, who got up quickly. She's having a tremendous game. 7 catches, over 100 yards receiving in that first half alone. 166 and 3 scores. Javelay had only 3 postseason touchdowns coming in. She has 3 more here tonight. New set of downs for the Force. Grafassi with pressure coming from the outside. Now there's 3 around her, and she goes down back at the 34-yard line. Can't get away from Harvey there. Also Nicole Coffin, that is, in on the stop. Let's go down on the field. Katie Temple with an injury update. Katie?
Hey guys, just quickly, not exactly sure of the outcome right now. They're still working with Angel Smith. She is in a lot of pain, There's a lot of people around her kind of consoling her. The paramedics are here, they're gonna help her, and it looked like they were cutting off her gloves. It looks like her right wrist. Again, they cut off her gloves, and the paramedics are here to help. So I'll keep you posted.
And here's another touchdown. Gray is gone from Sammy Grisafi, and the route continues. Grisafi with another touchdown throw. It's her first of the second half, her 6th of the game, and it's 74-28.
The Diamonds haven't found an answer for this rub route inside by Gray. With nobody in the center field, Gray just has to get to the inside and gain leverage on that cornerback. That was just an easy throw by Sammy Grisafi. And Gray showed you the speed as she rumbled down the field to put Chicago up 74-28.
Gray with her 3rd touchdown reception of the game. 6th touchdown throw for Grafassi. And the extra point attempt is good. 75-28. What can you say about Sammy Grisafi here tonight? 28 years old, perhaps playing, we heard some rumors, her final WFA game, might call it a career after this. She may end the postseason having played 4 games and thrown for more yards than she did in the regular season. That's hard to do.
She's having an amazing playoff run. She's dialed in. This team is dialed in. She has a powerful arm. And what can you say about Sammy Grisafi? I mean, just look at her.
Closing in on 1,800 passing yards in 4 postseason games. And Jeanette Gray, who played hoops at Valparaiso University in northwestern Indiana, the leading receiver in the Women's Football Alliance with 53 catches, has another one here in the ball game, approaching 40 postseason catches over 4 games. That is the 11th touchdown of the night. And the return comes out to the 44-yard line. That's where Dallas has it. Let's go down on the field, and here's Katie with the Chicago Force owner. Katie?
Yeah, she is a force. Linda, first of all, a lot of attention on Angel Smith. I saw them taking off the jersey. Do you know exactly what's wrong?
Dislocated wrist.
And Sammy just walked by and said that last touchdown was for you. It seems like the whole team is very concerned.
Angel's a very popular player. She's one of our best players, and it's disappointing to see an injury so late in the game that we have well in hand. So, we're hoping that getting a championship ring will make her feel a little bit better.
You think that'll take away the tears?
Yeah, I do. Eventually. She's in pain, right now, but this was everybody's dream, and Angel in particular. So once they give her some morphine, we'll talk about the ring and start celebrating.
Linda, you were the WFA Owner of the Year. Congratulations this season. What does one have to do to be the Owner of the Year?
I don't know. I didn't ask the criteria. I'm just very flattered. I've been in football for a long time. I have the best coaching staff in the game. I've got a lot of great players. It makes it easy.
What are your goals for women's tackle football? Where would you like to see it go?
I'd like it to gain a greater audience. I'd like more people to be aware of just how amazing these women are, the level of play, and we need to get them out to the game. It can't be a secret anymore. It's a fantastic game. We just need a bigger audience.
All right, we'll wish you luck for the rest for the last, 7:49 of the game.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us. Steve, back to you.
Thank you, Katie. An 18-yard first down run there by Jenkins. Linda was a great football player herself, just came off the field about 4 years ago, and a tremendous athlete, went to Michigan State and played softball in the Big 12. Today named Owner of the Year and is about ready to have a championship ring sized for her finger. Coming up on 7:20 to go. Satterwhite bounces off a blocker and is going to get wrapped up and brought down from behind. That is Arteria Ziegler from behind making the stop.
As a player in championship games, you'd rather have a blowout instead of a nail biter.
Yep. I will tell you this, I'm impressed by the level of athleticism, how the girls play the game, how they play fundamentally well. I think we pointed out that one tackle by Charbonneau, who was the place kicker. I mean, you were in the NFL for 10 years. You know those place kickers usually run out of bounds. They don't want to be around anybody. She breaks down and is a perfect tackle. The speed of the game is outstanding. The execution has been outstanding.
I think that's a testament to the coaches.
And again, they're not playing for money. They're paying to play. Jenkins flushed out of the pocket and is driven out of bounds and will wind up losing about 7 yards. The pressure was coming from the outside, driven out by Kim Marks, who is the attorney. So if Linda gets her way with a big audience, then someone like Kim Marks can, unionize the bunch and then get some of the TV money, right? Timeout being called with 6:16 to go. Dallas will spend their second. They'll have one left. Still a lot of heavy lifting to go. 75-28 Chicago. It's been over since the first half. We had a wild second quarter, 62-20 at half in favor of Chicago. And Chicago scored 2 of the 3 touchdowns we've had here in the second half, a rather quick second half. And it's 75-28. 11 touchdowns in this game for Chicago. And their quarterback has thrown 6 of them. Sammy Grisafi, who grew up in Redlands, just up the I-15 freeway in Riverside County. Got all her family. I think I ran into her grandfather at the snack shack after. He was real happy, had his jersey on.
Yeah, I can imagine Grisafi has a lot of happy family members, friends, and supporters out there today. I mean, she played lights out through the whole playoffs, but tonight she showed it as well as a leader. This as a teammate.
Here's Jenkins. Jenkins with a pitch. That is Janice Mitchell. We've seen Janice with a couple of touches. She gets strung to the outside. Not much of a gain there. It's going to bring up a 4th down now, and Jenkins most likely will line up in the shotgun, take a step back, and then punt the football away to the Chicago Force. Just over 6 minutes to go in this championship game. What a different feeling Chicago's going to have. Last year they played a tight game against the San Diego Surge, lost at Heinz Field by 4 points. Not a very happy ride home to Chicago. This is going to be a longer plane flight, further travel from San Diego, but they're going to be much happier. And Jenkins couldn't even get the punt off and is taken down back at the 50-yard line. I think she had a chance to kick it, but couldn't get it away. Down she went. Chicago has it with a short field.
Another bobbled snap by Odessa Jenkins. She's a great athlete, but she has fumbled that ball between 5 to 8 times this evening. Every time it's been costly.
So the Force get it at midfield. Already a couple of touchdowns here in the second half of play. Here's that play. She was not ready for that snap. Thought she had a chance to kick it there. Didn't get it off. And the end result was a turnover on downs. That play is blown dead, and looks like Dallas called a timeout, their final one of the game, just ahead of that snap. There you look at Brittany Sims, a defensive back for the Dallas Diamonds. And that expression right there basically sums up the evening here for Dallas. A long trip, and they'll be defeated for the first time this year.
Some dour faces on the sidelines for the Dallas Diamonds. They had a tremendous year. Fought hard, have some great leaders on that football team. Got to give them credit for what they did and what they achieved this year to get to this point.
Take a look at Angel Smith. She left this game with a dislocated wrist. And a little bit of pain there, or a lot of pain perhaps, and a lot of pain on her face. But soon when she's able to raise up that championship trophy, some of that pain will go away. Grisafi going to launch. They're still throwing. They want more. It's incomplete. That's intended there for Carly Horrich. That'll bring up a 2nd down and 10.
Got to wonder what Konecki's thinking at this point of the game. 5.5 minutes left. They're still throwing that ball up. He must want more points.
Runs back in his starting running back, Mary Scholes, who's scored 3 times in the game. Inside of 5.5 to go.
Get upfield. Oh!
And that pass is dropped. Intended for Dana Vermeil as they get the backups in. Vermeil got hit. Incomplete pass. Well, Dallas opened the year beating Houston 41-6. They then shut out Austin 49-0. Beat Houston 68-8. And beat Lone Star Mustangs, shut them out, shut out Austin, shut out Houston. 3 straight shutouts in a row. Actually make it 4 in a row. Shut out the New Orleans Mojo. During the regular season, didn't give up many points. Gave up 20 points in the regular season defensively. Play is incomplete. They came in averaging 58.7 points per game and right now have 28.
Where was all that pressure
So this thing
from?
could have, gone back and forth. We could still be sitting here early 3rd quarter with it being a 63-58 game. Instead, Chicago took control in that 2nd quarter play. They led 21-6 after 1 quarter. And then Chicago wound up scoring a number of times in that 2nd quarter, pull away.
Got to give credit to Chicago's defense. Defense wins championships, like they say. They've held the Dallas Diamonds to 28 points thus far. That talented back end, that strong up front defensive line, they did their job for 4 quarters today.
Forced to punt for the second time here in the second half. Chance at a return. And being dropped back at the 21-yard line there is Candace Griffin. So the Diamond, perhaps one more, the Diamonds that is, perhaps one more crack at getting on the scoreboard again.
Small return, first down, Diamonds.
Football rest at the 22-yard line. We're in Balboa Stadium. This stadium probably has about 1,200 fans that are here tonight, but it once held 34,000 for San Diego Chargers football when they played in the AFL from 61 to 66. John Hadel was the quarterback throwing to Bambi, Lance Allworth, Jack Kemp, quarterback here, Ernie Ladd. And this stadium actually held an AFL title game in 61, 63, and 65. Elusive speed. Satterwhite a chance at the end zone and gets pushed out of bounds on the far sideline. Was it Satterwhite or perhaps, let's see. Yeah, it was Satterwhite, in fact.
Looks like she's pushed out inside the 10, but there is a flag on the play.
And there's a penalty marker dropped way back.
This is just a dump outside, but Satterwhite was so focused to get into the end zone. Made a lot of defenders miss down the way to the zone or down the football field. She does a great job, still focused, not giving up, knowing that her team is probably smelled defeat in this championship game.
Well, that play is going to stand. It's going to be declined. It was offsides on the defense, Chicago, so a big gain there. Jenkins to Satterwhite. They've hooked up quite a bit here in the ball game. And now a chance for the Dallas Diamonds inside the red zone. First and goal at the 10-yard line. Another injured Chicago Force player coming off the field. That's Martha Dantuma. She's in the secondary for Chicago. They're running that clock now inside of 4 minutes and 40 seconds. Jenkins just to kind of flip it up there for Hill. Tiffany Hill had a big first half. Can't come up with it there. Falls harmlessly incomplete. Second and goal with 4.5 to go. Don't go anywhere. We'll have our post-game celebration coming up after. Ralph and I are going to go down on the field and join Katie. Give out some awards. And then it's party time at the Gaslamp for both these teams after an exciting season of Women's Football Alliance play. Jenkins over the middle, incomplete. And there's going to be a penalty marker thrown, some contact. The intended receiver looked like she got hit. Looks like Dorian Bridges landing a hit there on Alberta Bridson. That should give Dallas another first down, half the distance to the goal line. They should have first and goal now at about the 5-yard line.
As a Dallas Diamonds player, you want to stay focused and dialed in still to try to get into this end zone. No matter what is on the clock, how much minutes are left in the game, you still want to try to give your all out there and finish strong.
First and goal inside the 5. Second and goal, rather. That play goes absolutely nowhere. Blown up. Tiffany Hill met at the line of scrimmage, dropped for a loss.
Number 42 Nelson and number 3 Dolsky. Loss on the play. Second and goal from the 9.
Now it is second and goal. Beg your pardon. Inside of 4, clock running. Jenkins pressure. Jenkins rolling out. Jenkins got a block. Jenkins will score. And that is the 16th touchdown of the game between the two teams. 75-34.
So it was a design pass, but Odessa Jenkins just commits to the run and does it the rest herself. Gets in the end zone. And with that run, you got to wonder why Odessa Jenkins didn't see the ball more throughout this game.
Yeah, if they hadn't fallen behind, I would think in that first quarter, 21-6, it might have been a different outcome. You know, they used a little bit of Brittany Bushman early in the game. We haven't seen her since, which leads me to believe that knee started to flare up again. Extra point attempt is wide left. And it is 75-34, the Chicago Force. Might be the last time that the Dallas Diamonds possess the football here in 2013. American Conference champs are going to be 11-1 here shortly. Much different outcome for Chicago this year after losing in that title game to San Diego last year by 4 points. A nail-biter, 40-36. They'd also played a nail-biter in the 2008 championship game when these two teams last met, Dallas and Chicago. Dallas won that game 33-29 in double overtime.
And by Konecki's demeanor, you know he wants to put a masterpiece out there on this field. He's still probably dialed in knowing that this game is over with and they're going to taste victory in a few minutes.
Still awaiting both teams to come on now for a Dallas Diamonds kickoff after what is their 5th touchdown of the night. 11 touchdowns in the ball game for Chicago. 5 for the Dallas Diamonds. Still 3:32 to go. So if you bet the over, I bet you won tonight. If you went down to Caliente, 109 points. Jessica Javelay is the lone force player back deep, setting up at about the 27-yard line for the kickoff. And a short kick, and again it's going to be fielded up at the 45-yard line, and some forward momentum there by a force player. Brings the ball almost to the 50-yard line. That was Rebecca Thustad, and they call her Punk. That's her nickname, is Punk, and her occupation, a police officer in the Chicago PD. 3:30 exactly to go here in the 4th. Sammy Ghassafi. Ghassafi having a great night. Man, why not? Give it back to Javelay, and Jessica off to the races. There's a penalty marker, though, back at the 45. She's into the end zone, but this thing's coming back. Would have been a 52-yard touchdown run.
And watching Javelay run is like watching a gazelle. She's light on her toes, has a perfect sprinter's form as she runs down the field. Sadly, this is coming back for her because she's having a great performance out there.
Well, you could give the player of the game to so many different players. I mean, Javelay certainly would be a candidate. But what can you say about what this 28-year-old quarterback has done? Sammy Ghassafi, 6 touchdowns thrown in the ball game, 1 touchdown run. Likely to account for over 600 yards of total offense. The numbers are going to be mind-blowing at the end when all counted up by the accounting firm of Dewey, Cheatham, and Howe. 3:20 to go. Why not try it again? Javelin to the near sideline, and she tripped at the 42-yard line. And extracurricular activity, pushing and shoving on the backside of the block, and that's going to cost Dallas 15 yards.
You've got to keep your calm as a defender when you're about to taste defeat. Can't let your frustrations take over to get a penalty or make a bonehead mistake at this time of the game.
Might be Sammy's final football game. 28 years old, thinking about hanging it up. Again, played high school football on the boys team at Redlands High School and actually played in a varsity game in a very tough league out there in the Inland Empire in Riverside County. And normally that area in Redlands, you know, produces 5 or 6 Division I athletes a year. And here she was as a female quarterback for Redlands High School. .306 to go as our officials sort out yet another penalty, and there have been a mess of them in the ball game. Again, semi-professional referees here. Talked to a couple of them before the ball game. Said, you know, you guys do college or anything? Said, nope, just these kind of ball games.
I think they've done a great job throughout this game calling the game.
Perhaps these penalties will be offsetting here. We'll see. There was some pushing and shoving. They get Dallas. Yep, and they are in fact going to be offsetting. So all that time there just to not do anything with a football.
Hey, hit squad, let's go.
When you know a championship is in sight, it's best to just keep your mouth shut when the opposing team might be mouthing off at that time and be the bigger person.
Offsetting penalties. Dawn Peterson for Chicago doesn't appear to be too happy, thinking she got pushed here. She's on the sideline now. I'm not sure there was an ejection as part of it. It didn't look like it was that big of pushing and shoving. But it did catch the referee's attention. Grisafi with pressure coming, throws, and it's caught. Javelin has it. Explosive speed. Second level touchdown. Oh, that's like shifting from third to fourth gear. Oh, my goodness.
What a run.
You talked about yak. That's explosive yak right there.
The Diamonds have not have an answer for this play the whole game. Gray attacked the inside. Now it's Javelin with the catch on the inside. She just turns on the burner. She's like a deer out there. Love watching her run. She stepped on the gas and run past everybody in this Dallas Diamonds defense.
Grisafi, a 57-yard touchdown throw to Javelin, and that is her 7th touchdown pass of the night. My, oh my, what a performance against a very good defense.
81 points.
They failed to add on right there. 24 touchdowns against 2 picks here in the postseason for Grisafi. 2:56 to go. And the fans, there they go again. Building up those triceps.
The concerted raise the roof effort by the Chicago Force has been a constant tonight. It's been exciting to watch their offense.
Force with their 12th touchdown of the night.
Whatever whatever goes on out there, we keep playing our brand of football.
John Konecki wants his team to finish up strong. Won a high school championship as a coach in the 6A in the state of Illinois. Won a championship with Team USA. Still 2:56 to go, 81-34.
You know, going into this game, we knew both offenses were high-powered. Didn't think anyone would score 81 points. Chicago Force proved me wrong. Probably a bunch of others.
Javelin with her third touchdown reception of the night. She had just 3 postseason touchdowns coming in. Doubles her total here in one game. Still, unless they score one more time, this isn't going to be their season high in points. They were well over that pace. 84 in the postseason. How about this in the postseason? They will have scored 65, 84, 46, and 81. And I used to do Arena League football 2 games on the radio here in San Diego. I've never seen anything like this. Line shot, deep kick, fielded at the 5. And straight up the middle there is Amanda Heilman, her second return of the game.
Come to the sideline.
She got it out to the 34-yard line. 2:46 to go, clock stop.
Heilman on the return. Could be group tackle for the Force. First down, Diamonds.
Dallas Diamonds have a lot to hang their head up high for. Getting to this stage, they posed a good fight. Chicago Force were just a better team today.
Yeah, I think regardless of the outcome of the game, everyone's going to leave with their head held up high, feeling like they just had a wonderful weekend here in San Diego. What a great time everybody had here. There's still a big after party to go down in the Gas Lamp. Linda Brochet, the owner of the Chicago Force, getting ready to get sized for a championship ring and go a perfect 12-0 and be crowned the winner of the Women's Football Alliance here in 2013. Here's Hill, gets behind Satterwhite, the blocker, and gets to the 50-yard line, picking up 15 and a first down for the Dallas Diamonds.
I know what it tastes like to lose in a championship game. Lost in the championship to the Steelers 2008.
That's right.
But at this point, you have to keep it at glass half full. You're the Dallas Diamonds. It's a tough defeat. They've done a lot this year. Great leaders on this team. They have a lot to hang their head up for.
Back up, back up, back up! Back up!
And a short little run. Saw another penalty flag come up. Might have been a Dallas Diamond player lined up off sides.
One for Ford Burton on the carry. 21, Hustad, and 17.
Well, actually, the Chicago Force lining up off sides. It'll cost them 5 yards.
Offsides on defense.
Just over 2 to go. Again, NCAA rules is what we play by here, so there'll be no 2-minute warning. We'll cover the championship presentation afterwards from Balboa Stadium. They've done it before here in the AFL back in the 60s, crowning 3 AFL champions, including the Chargers in 61. Jenkins on the play action. Tucks, runs, across the 35-yard line and inside the 30 and down at the 28.
Jenkins on the carry. She scrambles for a first down before being tackled by number 24, Griffin. First down, Diamonds.
The defensive backs of the Chicago Force are still covering these wide receivers very well down the field, forcing Odessa Jenkins to abort and run the football.
.90 seconds to go. 81-34 Chicago. Jenkins, plenty of time. And Jenkins throws right, throws it out of bounds, incomplete. 2nd and 10, stopping the clock with 1:16 to go in the championship game. Unfortunately, Dallas's 2nd trip in the last 10 years to Southern California for a championship game will come up empty. Remember, in Long Beach in 2004, they won a championship. Not to be. In their defense, they gave up 52 points all year when you include the postseason as well. Has given up 81 here tonight, including 7 touchdown passes. Jenkins puts it in the belly of the running back. And a good strong run there. That's Janice Mitchell, who's had a number of carries here in the second half of this one. And we've reached 1 minute to go here in the 4th.
Some great athletes on both sides of the ball.
I would agree with you, no doubt. Been impressed with Javelay. I know a lot of people are going to make a lot out of what Sammy Safi has done here tonight. And they're going to go for the Gatorade shower here quickly of Coach Konecki. To the end zone and incomplete. And they got him. He's used to that, though. He's been showered 3 times this year, whether it's been high school or here on this level or with Team USA. It never gets old.
What a feeling. Winning a championship, all the hard work in the offseason, going through adversity during the season, and it all paying off at the end. Did a great game out there, offensive game, defensively as well. Now a little celebration.
Linda Brachet happy as well, the Force owner, going to get a WFA championship here. Perhaps one final play for Dallas unless they get the first down. Jenkins flushed out of the pocket, and Jenkins out of bounds, and that should do it. They'll turn it over on downs with 16.5 to go, and now Chicago can take a knee, and they will be champions of the Women's Football Alliance here for 2013. Their fans can feel it. We need more cowbell.
They have a lot to be proud of their team, Chicago Force. I was very impressed with their offense today.
Well, how could you not be? 81 points and probably 700 yards of total offense. They take a knee. It's only fitting that this game ends with their quarterback, Sammy Grisafi, with the ball in her hands, flips it to the ref, and the celebration is on right now. The Chicago Force are 2013 Women's Football Alliance champions. Behind 7 touchdown passes by Grisafi, Chicago wins it 81-34, and they'll shower their owner, hold her up, Linda Brachet, a former player for the Force, now celebrating a championship as an owner. We'll take a break, and when we come back, the on-field presentation here from Balboa Stadium. The Force are WFA national champs here in 2013. Back after this.
All right, WFA National Champions. How does that sound?
It sounds pretty amazing. It sounds like everything that we've been working for since we lost this time last year, and it sounds about right.
You were a woman possessed. I mean, I got to tell you, I lost count of touchdowns. I think it was 7 throwing and 1 running. What happened tonight?
We had a mission tonight, and that was to play our game, and that's what we did. And that's all that mattered to us. It didn't matter who was on the other side of the line of scrimmage, and that's what we did. We played our game tonight.
Yesterday when I talked to you, you basically predicted this victory if you played your game and if you executed the way that you wanted to. How did you know?
I just knew what our capabilities were and all the work that we had put in and all the work that the coaching staff had put in, and I knew that if that was executed, there was no way we couldn't win this game. We are hungry. I mean, if you lose 2 national championships, there's a fire that's inside of you, and we had that fire tonight. We had all of the things working for us.
You've been intense since the moment I met you. Is it okay for you to have a little fun now?
Oh, I'm going to have a lot of fun tonight. Yeah, absolutely. Got my family here and my other family here, and we're going to get after it.
Great win. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you very, very much.
All right, back to you.
Welcome back to Balboa Stadium. 81-34. Chicago puts the finishing touches on a 2013 Women's Football Alliance Championship. Steve Quist back alongside Ralph Brown. And just your thoughts and impressions. I know we're here amongst the celebration right now, and this has got to feel good. I mean, you've been here. You know what it's like to win a championship. Doesn't matter what level. I mean, this is pretty cool.
Oh, this is awesome. The Chicago Force worked all year to get to this game, and they capitalized on it. Coach Konecki was dialed in the whole time, and their offense, spearheaded by Rizalfi, did a great job. They had a lot of talent on the outside, and their defense stood up as well.
Yeah, she was amazing here. 7 touchdown passes in this championship game, and as you heard her say to Katie Temple here, they've tasted bitter defeat so many times in championship games. They finally have one. It's going to be a happy ride home here for the Chicago Force team, no matter how long it takes to get back to the Windy City.
Oh, without a question. Last year they lost, and they held that throughout the season. This year, and they tasted that throughout the whole game. They wanted to make sure this time that they got here that they won this football game. They did that tonight.
Well, that offense is good as advertised. As a matter of fact, better than advertised. They average 62 points a game, and tonight the Chicago Force score 81 as they beat the Dallas Diamonds 81-34. So that'll do it for us here at Balboa Stadium here in San Diego, California. For Katie Temple, Ralph Brown, and the Pro Shot Digital Video Production crew, I'm Steve Quist, bidding you farewell from San Diego. The final score again, the Chicago Force 81, the Dallas Diamonds 34. To watch this entire game on replay, as well as other games on our family of ESPN networks, watch ESPN.com or download the Watch ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN.